just quickly in chat because I can't hear you guys. Anna, did you change your Twitch handle at all? F. But there you are. I was spelling it wrong. My bad. I was going for MF rather than FM. Oh, and also, my mic's not muted, so hey stream, you just got a little window into the background there. I'm gonna mute it now. Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to another week of The Jury! Mwaha! Today is episode 3, the third episode of our season. Mwaha. Still no green screen, but we're otherwise settled. Welcome to the third week of streaming. Charlie, I will hand over to you with little further ado. I can't hear you yet. No video?
Is it all working?
I don't know. Is everything? I think everything's working. It seems to be working.
Okay. I'm sure chat will let us know if anything's working.
I'm sure he'll find out.
My copy's working.
What I would like to do is actually go around and remind everyone of their advantages, nat 20s and nat 1s for this game.
Yes.
For you to get through. Sorry?
I can most certainly do that, yeah. Charlie, you have a disadvantage to distribute. That is for you to give to someone. You also have 5 nat 20s.
Just a few.
Just a few, yeah. Anna has 3 nat 20s, 1 advantage and a nat 1. I have a nat 20 and a nat 1. Eddie has a nat 20, an advantage and a nat 1. And Alice has a nat 20 and a nat 1. That's right, Keeper. We all have a nat 1.
I fail on my own anyway, so I don't think.
I mean, last week I remembered about it and I was like, I don't need these. And in my notes, we don't have any outstanding wild magic surgeries. We actually did use them all. The only one I think that's kind of ongoing is Anna. You have to continue wearing that scarf, as you know from last time. On the subject of which, why don't we do a quick recap of last session? Last session we had the party doing many different things. So Bert, why don't we talk about your adventures first? From your perspective, what did Bert get up to last session?
Well, Bert, he wasn't in a good place. He had received some phone calls from his daughter. She sounded like she was in trouble. He tried to call. Well, no, he tried to call her after she gave him a letter actually and couldn't get through. Sounds very much like someone is. At first, it sounded like she owed someone money and that they wanted money. So he went to the bank. He got a load of money out and he just went straight over to his daughter's to go and sort out problems. When he got there, it was like all doors were closed. He literally couldn't get in, he couldn't get round, he couldn't get through to people, nothing was going his way. In the end, he managed to find a window and just sort of slip in. And the place had been turned over. No note or anything, though, to say where to leave the money. Now his detective's brain is thinking, God damn it, that was some sort of cover. He went back to be near his telephone, hoping to hear more from the assailants, but instead he heard from the jury keeper. I don't know what the jury keeper's called.
The secretary, Mr. Sparks.
The secretary, Mr. Sparks, who was asking him where the hell he'd been all day, and he got in time to join the rest as they went into jury service very quickly. Still very surprised to be on the jury. That's Bert, pretty much. That's the things prominent in Bert's mind.
And before you left the city, you put in a call to your PI contact. Someone's still on the force, and you were waiting to hear back from them. You wanted to find out about Victoria's fiance, whom in the letter she'd said she was basically leaving.
Yes, that's very true.
And initially, during your investigation, you went to his place of work, and you met his secretary, who informed you he was away on a trip.
Yes.
And you also saw an article which stated his business has recently had a really successful transaction deal go through. That was that. And yes, you came back and managed to not be in trouble / arrested for absconding from a jury service, and found yourself into the room with the red door where the selected jury were. Everyone else in that room had also had a fairly busy day. You began your mornings investigating a newspaper that Mr. Strebeck had brought with him into the red doored room. Travis, why don't you give us that summary? Why don't you tell us the things that you found out and what you were up to?
Well, there was a terrible grisly murder up in a cabin up near the woods, and a family was killed, but the children survived. And the short of it, as I understand it, is that the popular opinion around town is that it was perhaps the father of one of the children who was in the house, who was a friend of the family. That's my understanding. But that is not who they have on the hook in the trial that we're apparently about to start. And so we were discussing that. And am I missing anything? Am I missing anything crucial there? No. But I'll tell you that Eddie's been thinking about the fact that we're probably gonna have to have a look at that cabin before it's too late, because there's something's rotten in Denmark here, and so we're gonna have to check that out. And then what else did I do? I believe I had lunch at some point. Me and Helena, Strebeck and Helena, got to visit and catch up and admire the architecture, and learned a little bit about the judge who built the mysterious courthouse, the esoterically designed courthouse that we all are going to find ourselves sequestered in for the next couple of weeks, it would seem. And so we took a look at that, and then we had some late night adventures. Eddie couldn't sleep, and then a shot rang out, and I went to investigate and was nearly gunned down. and thankfully was not. And I carried Lucia from a pretty precarious situation as she was dazed and confused. And so that's kind of what I wanted to ask you, Charlie, is like how that, because I'm trying to remember how I brought her back to Gloria's, and then
I will come back
where I remember leaving off
tonight, and I'll let you know that detail. Why don't we quickly go to Anna and talk about what you were interested in on finding out during your lunch break and what you might be interested in finding out today.
So when we were talking, Eddie and I were talking about the courthouse building, and he was giving me some kind of information about that, about what the architecture exactly had like behind it historically. I found out that there was a witch trial a long time ago. A woman was wrongfully accused by two men, and she was hung. And I kind of think that this relates to the gallows and the swinging rope situation, sound, and weird stuff that me and Lucia saw when we went through the weird door and ended up in some sort of basement area. And I learned that the hanging took place in a back courtyard, I believe, like a back garden at the courthouse. So I'm hoping to go to the city hall and the library and things like that to find some records that I can kind of check against these things that I learned today on my day off.
And the last thing you did in the evening was to write some letters, and something slightly strange happened in the middle of that. Would you like to share those details? And then we'll come to Lucia, who also had a very strange night.
Yes, so when I was writing my letter, I believe to my father, telling him that I wouldn't be able to make it, I had some weird things start to happen, and the scarf that I received when we were first at the courthouse, after we exited that weird underground place, the statue of Lady Justice took off her blindfold. Stone statue took off a cloth blindfold somehow and gave it to me, which I've had since then. But last night when I was writing this letter and these things started happening, I heard something along the lines of, wait out, the jury is going to be changing and a new trial is coming. And I also saw some patterns moving and things happening in the cloth of this blindfold scarf. And now I feel compelled to wear it at all times. I have it tied around my neck like an ascot, and I feel slightly more judgmental of things and people and situations. So we'll see how that works out.
And finally, Lucia, having escaped from a long day of jury service, including a strange incident with a message boy on the stairs at lunch, while you enjoyed your orange from Eddie, would you like to share with chat what happened at the end of your day?
I'll say I enjoyed my orange. That was like, probably the best bit of the day, considering how it then went downhill after that. Lucia got a phone call in the middle of the night or the early hours of the morning from her brother. It didn't really make sense, but she grabbed her shotgun and hopped in the truck and headed towards the location of the dairy, where she found her brother covered in bullet holes and on death's door, to which she took him to another Italian family, a really angry Italian mama in there who basically slapped her on the face and kicked her out, but hopefully that kind of helped her brother. And then as things went on, it got a bit stranger. The feeling that she was being followed increased, and she noticed there were less and less people at her coffee shop or her bar, and she wanted to find out why. So she went to go and find one of the weedy little guys that she knew her and her brothers. Probably a bit of a rat more than anything else. In fact, speaking of rats, on the way there in this horrific storm, she was confronted with a man who had been following her with a giant rat's head, which obviously terrified her. And then it led on to a confrontation with, I think it was Norman, if I remember the name correctly. Yep. Poor Norman, poor little weedy Norman. And she was shocked to learn that her father was no longer in jail. and she was the one who put him there. So she's pretty terrified right now. He's a very dangerous, very scary man. And it sounds like people have been spreading rumors that she's taking over the business, which is definitely something she's not doing. She tried to shoot Norman, only in like, it's not only in the leg, but like to stop him from running away when he fled, and she completely missed. To which Eddie heard the gunshot, and as Travis has said, found her in probably a very disheveled state. She was out of it. She almost shot Eddie. It's lucky she's really bad at shooting things. And ended up going back to the cafe with his help and calming down before returning to bed that evening with a knife under her pillow and a shotgun under the bed and a pistol down her side. She is now terrified that her father, I mean, she's going to shoot whatever walks in that door, regardless of who it is.
And Mr. Strubeck, I believe, returned to his apartment after Lucia had secured her property, and settled down to read one of H. Hawthorne's masterpieces, A Murder with a Twist, so to speak. And as he did so, he dreamt about murders and twists, perpetrating crimes, being victims of crimes, and trying to solve crimes, which is probably a very apt atmosphere for him to wake up from. So, Eddie, you wake up. The storm has, for the most part, washed away all of the heavy hanging atmosphere of the night. And the morning is blustery with a clear blue sky. And there is a chill in the air, something that has not been present until now. The summer had been clinging on. Tell me about your morning.
Man, well, he got no sleep. And, you know, what he did get was awful. And I think he goes straight to Gloria's to get there when it opens. I think I want to be there when they unlock the doors. And walk in and sit in my chair, and I would like to think that Gloria's will fry you a donut. This is the right time for it, you know. And so,
to clarify, are you going to Gloria's or are you going to the Millers? The Millers being the establishment run by Lucia's family, and Gloria being the diner near the courthouse.
oh, I thought it was both. I'm going to the Millers. Is the Millers not a restaurant? I thought it was.
It is.
It is. I'm going to the
Gloria's
Millers.
has the contract with the courthouse.
I got the two mixed up. I am going to the Millers, where I am going to eat a donut and have coffee and wait quietly reading the early edition, while I wait for Lucia to come downstairs. Until then, I'm enjoying my donut.
Okay. Lucia, how did your morning start?
She, from what little sleep she had, she very tightly rolls out of bed, almost as if what happened the day before was a bit of a dream and she was really praying it wasn't real. Realizing it is, she dresses for the day. She has to keep up appearances. She's quite a proud woman when it comes to it. And she's in her smart trousers today, one of her brother's shirts, and a small sort of neckerchief just tied around, and she puts on her makeup. She still wants to look her best. She's wearing long boots so that she can hide the knife that is now down by her ankle, and she has a small, very small revolver tucked into the back of her trousers, sort of hidden because she's pretty sure people will notice the shotgun. And she also and she'll stroll downstairs, probably early on, maybe if there's another member of the family, maybe a younger one that comes in every now and then. She's just called them in to open up because she knew she wasn't in the right state of mind.
Making your state of mind worse, as you applied your makeup, you felt that feeling you've been having nagging at you for the last 2 days of someone watching you, someone with you. And it's that point where it's just like out of that peripheral, And it's just there the whole time you're putting this makeup on.
She keeps like double checking, especially with now her father being out. He knows this building, he knows all the ways in, and she started she has a desk in her room which she moved from the door to get up, but she's now put it in front of the window and pulled the curtains across, all the blinds down, and she's constantly looking over her shoulder.
And downstairs you do find that Samuel, who is responsible for the flour and the heavy lifting of like potato sacks and those sort of supplies, is in nice and early to help you. And there's an air of everything's kind of back to normal feeling because he's here. And then the others start coming in who work for you. And Matthew actually appears, although he refuses to tell you anything that's going on, insisting on just getting on with his jobs around the cafe.
Okay. So she'll just greet all of them, even if she looks sort of just probably out of nervousness, keeps maybe touching her hair or making sure that her shirt's straight. And when she's like making her shirt straight, it's more that she's checking the revolver is still there. And how is everyone this morning? Samuel, if you could take those out back as usual, that would be fantastic. Matthew, how is our brother?
He's alright, Lucia, he's alright.
How alright?
He kind of just like gives you that look and the shrug and the dodges to go and do something, to go and start putting filters in the coffee.
She knows she won't get anything out of him. She's like, okay. And she goes down to the bar and starts with her normal daily job, basically trying to get everything to feel as normal as possible again.
And for the most part it does, save for that moment right before you open the door by turning that sign, when again that feeling strikes you. You can hear everyone else in the kitchen, but in the open cafe you are alone, and there's a feeling of someone sat at one of the table corners. When you turn, there is no one there, and then as you look to the windows, you are certain that someone was watching you walking past, but there's no one there.
And she is probably fairly, if anyone is watching her, she's probably quite jumpy and twitchy, and taking a lot of big deep breaths and trying to contain herself, basically.
Anna, Helena wakes up to the sound of the hall phone going off, the upstairs hall phone, the residence phone. And you are aware as you wake up that your partner hadn't returned last night. In the haze of what had gone on throughout the day and the busyness of your mind, it kind of slipped that she was absent. It's not unusual. She had gone to the city, so you had a rough idea of where she was. But now as you wake, the phone is ringing.
Okay, I put on whatever I would, like a robe or something, just so I can be decent. And I go into the hallway and go to the phone and pick it up.
Helena? The line's
Yes?
crackling. Oh, good. I'm glad I caught you. They're on strike. I can't get back. And there's crackling, and there's a sound of like a train whistle in the background, and lots of people kind of jostling by.
Who's on strike? What's happening?
The railway. I can't get back.
Oh no. Not again. Could you get a car, a taxi maybe? I can have my father, maybe, trick him into getting you here.
Well, that would be good. It's very expensive, Helena. I could always go and crash with Bess for the night, but after that I'd need to come back.
I just want you to be safe. I don't want you to worry. If you want to stay there, that's fine. Just let me know you're safe when you are.
All right. I'll call you when I find somewhere. Don't worry, all the girls are here. It was a wonderful meeting. We were really sad that you weren't with us.
I'm so glad that you were able to run it for me, though. I know it's in capable hands.
All right. I love you. I will speak to you soon. And
Love you too.
there's literally someone going, "Oi, get off the phone," and this kind of clinks down.
Okay, so I'd probably return back to my room and probably get dressed. I'm assuming it's fairly early. Knowing this is my day off, I'm really looking forward to going to the library.
And how do you take your breakfast? Is it normal for Lucia to bring it up to the room for you to eat, or do you normally go downstairs, or do you normally go elsewhere?
I don't need anything fancy, so I'll probably just go down and grab whatever's quick.
Okay. But you also wake up to the sound of a phone ringing.
Oh, that's probably my guy. I'll jump up and go and answer the phone. Hello.
I got that information you asked for.
Yes.
Your fella, he's gone on across the country on a meeting. Sounds like some of them bigwigs down Hollywood way.
Can you give me details? Did he go with anyone? Does it?
There was no one else on the manifest with him. Only one ticket, from what I could tell.
Okay. Bigwigs. Big deal. That checks out.
He's due back today, though.
Due back today? Do you know what time? I'm gonna grab a pen.
And he'll give you the information of a train that's due in today at 5:15.
Fantastic, and I'll jot that down. And thanks. Thanks, I owe you one.
All right, Bert. Be good.
Be safe. And I suppose Bert is going to look around his house. This is the first time he's woken up sober in a long time. Toast. That's what people do in the morning, right? They have toast. So he'll walk to the fridge. He'll open the fridge and find a really moldy old loaf of bread that hasn't been touched for like months. He'll just sort of like pick it up and look at it and just sort of...
Yeah, your cool box hasn't even been cool in months.
Yeah.
Ice for it and...
He'll just put that straight in the bin. Sniffs the milk. That's cheese. And he'll just put the lid back on. Well, I guess I better head out for some breakfast. And he intends to walk to Miller's or Gloria's, but on the way, he walks past an off-license. And do you know what? Sometimes the best breakfasts come in little paper bags.
And by off-license, he actually walks past his friend Jackson's house.
Oh.
Jackson is your personal supplier when you're not getting your booze from the Millers. And he keeps a brown paper bag just for you and basically kind of passes it out the kitchen window, which faces onto the street.
I slapped down a couple of notes. Thank you. And I go off on my merry way. We have had some donations. We've had many. Tweet Ravekna gives his stream boss nat 20 to Eddie. We also have a donation from Isriva for everyone to have a Wild Magic Surge, but Bert's is for his daughter.
Okay.
And Potato Hollow gives an advantage and a nat 20 to Lucia. And we've also had 10 retweets, which means we also have a random Wild Magic Surge.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for this random one is I'm actually going to roll it, see what it is, and then I'll give it to the most appropriate person story-wise. I think that's how I want to do that from now on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you can roll, obviously, for Victoria, Scrap.
I can. It's now 474. I was just checking the number. And if you in chat would like to add to our Wild Magic Surge table, you can do so in the Discord. It's in the suggestion box tab, and it is pinned, so you can go and see all of our current ones. Forgive...
How does this happen?
Should I re-roll?
Let's find out, shall we? I'll DM it to Charlie, and Charlie can decide.
Yeah.
We're all doing one.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
I got 88.
Oh, we're all doing it. What's the number I roll?
1D474.
474. No, not 351. No, God.
What is
I'm
it?
gonna reroll mine. Alice, you're gonna keep yours.
Okay.
I don't know what it means.
Okay.
Oh, high numbers.
So for those who don't
Yep.
know, Wild Magic Surges are from a table that has been compiled by Scrap on Discord by using your suggestions. As I said, you can add to it. The way I'm using them in this game is I work them in narratively. A lot of the weirder ones will be related to sanity risks that come with Call of Cthulhu. But yes, I will try and flag when I'm using them so that you know what you've done to these poor people.
I'm going to suggest, Charlie, that 429 and 351 are swapped, and you will see why.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Gotta hate these things.
I love them.
I
And
would just
what did you
bless.
get? Scraps? Oh, that's 253. I just need 88 for Helena.
88. Sorry, I totally missed that one. Oh, this one feels very Call of Cthulhu. God damn.
What's the hotel room from the show?
No.
If you want any rerolls, Charlie, that's entirely at your discretion.
Okay. That's fine. I can work with all of these. I just don't remember who's is whose.
Okay.
Alright. So, for Victoria, let's talk about her morning. She wakes up in a room that is not familiar to her. She looks around and her vision is blurry. It feels nearly sepia as the morning light is filtering in through blinds, creating a strange bar effect across the room, which is papered in a beige, fading wallpaper. As she looks around, her head is banging, and she takes the pillow from beside her, pulls it over her head, and falls back asleep. That's her. It's taken care of for now. Meanwhile, everyone has now assembled in Miller's Cafe.
Oh. I'm finishing my donuts and drinking my coffee.
Lucia will probably walk over to Eddie, look quite nervous about it, and she's like, is your coffee okay?
It's delicious, thank you. How's your how are you feeling?
I am fine, thank you for asking. If we could keep this between us, I would be very happy about that. And I sort of top up his coffee as I'm doing this. It's
I'd
rather
like to-
embarrassing, if you understand.
Of course I understand. I feel like I've known you long enough to know why. And I'm a man who knows how to keep secrets, but this is the thing. I need a sit down. And I don't need to sit down with the whole Miller family. I need to sit down with you. And you and I need to talk for a few minutes when there's time to do so. It's getting busy around here, so it's not the right time. But when you have a minute, we got to talk.
And she sort of looks around briefly. Like, at closing time, you come to the bar. I've got the room out back. We talking, but again, between us, no one else.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'll see you later.
And she sort of smiles at that and sort of slides back off towards the bar where probably some other people are waiting.
Helena has just arrived for her breakfast as you finish the conversation with Eddie. Helena, would you like to order your breakfast?
Yes, I will have whatever doesn't need to be cooked and is just ready to go. Like, I don't know if they had bagels then.
I'll say they have bagels. In
Okay,
this version of 1927, they definitely have bagels.
okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if bagels were invented.
Now,
Bagels.
does she have locks on her bagels?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, of course. Of course. Are you kidding? Stupid question.
Is there such thing as a perception in Call of Cthulhu. I should know this by now, unfortunately.
Listen or spot hidden, usually, I think.
Spot hidden. Perfect. Anna, if Helena can make a spot hidden check for me, please.
Like locks and like maybe jam on the other one.
Wow. How does
Yeah, that's you have.
Peach,
Take
peach
your,
jam.
you take your bagel once it's prepared. It's pretty much good to go. They've got a stack kind of pre-made up, knowing this is going to be like the handout food.
Well, yeah, you'd have to assume that all the blue collar, like just sort of, workers would come and get like early morning,
Yep.
bagels and stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I could talk about food for the next hour and a half. That's fine.
Oh, I could do that.
Helena, you have your breakfast. Is it to go?
Yes.
Okay, and where are you making your way to?
Library.
Okay, on your way out, you pass Eddie. His table has ended up being by the door, so he can easily see you on your way out.
Yeah, I would have looked for him for sure.
So I nod at you on your way out, and I think he's waiting for a cue. He's just saying hello. Good morning.
Oh, and then I talked to him. I would just ask like, "Oh, okay, you ready to go to the library?" Like expecting that we were already doing this. I already had it planned.
Yeah, but see, no, he would have to hear himself be invited, like a vampire. So not a vampire, but I say, where are we going?
The library.
You're damn right. And I fold my paper and stand up and put a donut in my pocket.
Oh, and also I have a few copies of my books in my bag, and I'm gonna like slip them onto the shelves in the library.
Yeah.
I love it. So actually, as you're on your way out, Bert is on his way in, paper bag and bottle in hand.
But of course, that bottle I will be secreting about my person, because I'd hate for Lucia to think that I'm, drinking in her establishment, so I'll be tucking that away in my jacket. Thank you for that subscription, Call of Cthulhu. Cleric of Cord, not Call of Cthulhu. Cleric of Cord. Lots of C's.
Worried then.
Yeah. So I guess I'll be walking in. I would probably have picked up a few pebbles on the way, which I'm now running through my fingers. I'll go and sit down and just I mean, does Lucia usually do table service?
She will do, especially if she recognizes you. Otherwise, she tends to leave it to people. But if she recognizes you, then she will sort of head over to you this morning.
Awesome. Yep. So I'll go and sit at a table.
Okay. Sorry.
I was actually going to say, she sort of wanders over. She's like, and good morning. What can I get for you today?
Breakfast.
Oh, what would you like? Would you like a bagel? I got eggs. I've got toast. I'm pretty sure Eddie came in earlier and ate donuts.
Look, Lucia, I'm not used to doing this whole breakfast thing. Whatever you recommend, not the most expensive thing on the menu.
I'll make you toast. And she sort of, as she goes to leave, said, do you want anything with that?
A coffee?
A normal coffee?
No, yes, wink.
I was like, okay. And almost technically, like, don't wink. And moved off to the kitchen in the bar and starts to basically put toast under the grill. And
Eddie, at this point, as you are leaving through the door with Helena, I need you to make a Constitution roll.
Oh dear God. Okay.
I have a very forceful personality.
Ooh. Hey, I think I did okay. Where's my Constitution? Oh yeah, I have a 12 as my 5th. What did I roll again?
The 20.
Oh, so I got a half.
Alright, so at half, you feel a cramp in your stomach and a bubbling sensation. Something you ate today definitely didn't agree with you. And as you're realizing there's some strange murmuring from around the cafe, and one woman kind of, and she's there. She's lifting up her bagel and looking inside, and she's then presenting it to the person across the table, and the young man with her looks horrified too. More and more people are checking their food, and there's outrage. Maggots! There's fucking maggots everywhere! And all around the cafe, people are discovering more and more horrible things in the meals they have been presented. Lucia, you hear this hubbub.
And she walks straight out, and she's just like, "What is the commotion about?"
Oh.
The guy nearest to you, paled and turned slightly green, and he shows you his what should have been a bacon like baguette. And he opens it up, and inside there are what appears at first glance to be large worms, but what you eventually, on closer inspection, realize are rats' tails. And all around the cafe, more and more food is being brought towards you, and there are literally maggots in the bagels. There's the rat's tails and the baguettes. And various parts of these meals have been sabotaged. And unfortunately, Eddie, unbeknownst to you, something in your meal was not right either. And the deep fat fryer didn't kill it.
I can't. No, you can't have Mudbutt now when they're about to go to the library with Helena Hawthorne.
You're pretty sure that you're not going to be physically sick right now, and that you won't need to make the dirty dash. But definitely it's going to be unsettled in your digestive tract for about 2 hours.
Okay, but he's gonna soldier through this. You're not gonna blow your trip to the library because you've got the trots. We've got a mission, and he would tough it out as much as possible.
And we need to thank Architect Origins for making your breakfast even worse than I was already gonna make it. So thank you for that donation. I hope you enjoy Eddie, Bert, Lucia, and Helena's suffering this morning. That also takes care of one of the wild magic surges as well, which tied in really well. Okay, so off to the library. Lucia, you are having a terrible morning now. And you may be questioning that order for food.
Lucia,
Yes,
I'm okay.
understandable. And she's walking around. She's literally just sweeping all the plates and everything off the table, putting some coins back down so that people can say, "I am truly sorry. This is never something I would let get past me. We will be back to normal tomorrow. Otherwise, if everyone could just get out."
And it literally feels as if there's about to be a riot. People are beginning to demand their good hard money back. They're being poisoned by you. And there are lots of slurs coming your way in regards to your heritage and your gender.
Is there someone close to me that is doing this in particular?
Yeah, there's he is a portly, short man, balding. He's got 4 hairs that he's kind of swept over to try and cover it. He's red-faced. He, to your knowledge, is the foreman for a forestry company.
She will walk straight up to... Is she taller than him, or is it the same height?
She's
taller than him, and she will look down, and she'll be like, "What did you say?"
I said, and he'll repeat the slurs, which I'm not going to say, but needless to say, they're not pleasant, and that you're a filthy cheat, and I should know better.
Have you had this sort of service from me before?
Doesn't matter, I'm having it now, and I want my money back, and I want some money for the bad tummy you're going to give me.
You'll get your money back. And she slams the coins down on the table. She's like, "That is all."
And we'll make an intimidation roll from Lucia to see if that is going to be all.
Oh, I'm going to fail this so hard.
Don't forget you have a nat 20.
Yeah, actually, can I just use a nat 20
Yes,
on
you
that
can.
one. I think I've got 2 nat 20s, haven't I?
2 nat 20s, an advantage, and a nat 1.
I'm gonna just nat 20 the
As you slam the coins down, your arm stretches out, the gun at your side becomes visible.
Mhm.
And the foreman sees that there is more of a threat here than just an angry Italian woman. And he backs up. And his response triggers a similar response in the rebel.
She will look around and say, "You've all got your money back. If you want anything else, I suggest you get the fuck out." And she will literally walk over to the door, open it, and just point out the door.
And one by one, they do all leave. There are a few mutters from the crowd, but for the most part, everyone is quiet, keeping their eyes down, and just getting out of there.
If anyone, she will know her older brother is Marcus, and she knows the reputation he has. He's not here, obviously, but if any of them start to mutter, she'll just be like, "Marcus, I need some help in here," just to reinforce the speedy leaving.
As you said, it generally has the effect you want, but there is one older gentleman who is part of the family, even though he's not related to you, and he looks up at the mention of Marcus's name and gives you a semi-impressed look at what you're doing right now. And if you
nod to him.
Psychology, you could probably extend perhaps your knowledge about what is being communicated in the look.
Okay, I'll just roll straight up for psycho. I think that's terrible as well, but no, it is.
I should mute that. That's real loud.
Yeah, it's a fail.
Yeah, you can mute that. You can all mute that beep sound. It's in the settings just below your master music volume setting. You'll have use advanced keyboard shortcuts, use window pop-outs, enabled background chat beep.
Oh, mine is turned off, so it's not mine.
If you untick it, then it won't make that sound because we all hear it.
Perfect. With that, you kind of discern nothing else. He just looks kind of impressed with you.
She'll nod to him, and then as soon as the last person's out, she'll make a point of probably slamming the door and going back behind the bar and just getting rid of all the spoiled stuff.
In the kitchen, there is a scuffle that breaks out. There's a sound of pots and pans and china being kind of thrown about the place.
She'll poke her head round and have her hand on her revolver.
Okay, the scene you see is Matthew has Samuel pinned to the ground and is bashing his head in with a frying pan.
And she's just like, "What the?" And she walks over and just tries to pull them both apart, still holding Samuel in place if she can. I don't know how beaten up he is.
We would probably need, do you have skill in brawl?
I doubt it. Hang on. Where is that? Sorry.
It's under fighting in your skill.
Oh, I see. Yes. I will roll, but I doubt I'll get anywhere. Oh my god, I passed! It's my first ever pass.
Scruff your brother and throw him back. That's the easiest thing for you to do. Just use his momentum as force and just get him momentally back. And then your hand comes slamming back down on Samuel around his throat, because that is the easiest thing to hold him down.
And she's holding onto him, but looking at her brother going, "What are you doing?"
Both of them speak at once, accusing the other of tampering with the food and being a rat.
And she's just like, "Shh. This is my kitchen. Whoever has tampered with it, it don't care which one of you it is. But get out now. Matthew, what is happening?"
I don't know, Lucia. He messed with the food. He's a filthy rat.
And then she just
Right
turns and looks at Samuel and like, "Did you mess with the food?"
No, Lucia, I never touched the food. I just carried the bags in.
Where did you get the bags?
From the delivery, same as always.
Was it the same man who did the delivery?
He looks kind of doubtful for a moment. Like, he hadn't really paid attention. He'd just been going through his morning routine.
She'll sort of pull him up, but still restraining him. She's like, "Do you think this helps? You breaking my kitchen? I don't care if you beat the shit out of each other, but don't break my crockery." And she sort of shoves them both aside. And said, I tell you what, go find out who did it. And then maybe we can work it out.
And at this point, you kind of see that Matthew's eyes starting to swell. Samuel's nose is bloodied and kind of pushed all to one side where this frying pan had been repeatedly smashed into his face. You imagine there's probably teeth loose, but it's just blood everywhere.
And she's like, God's sake, get yourself patched up. And she's like, she will probably reach for like a stake or something if she's got anything and just whack it on her brother's eye.
You go to your cold storage and you take out the steak, and you see that it is a very strange color. And you know this steak was fresh yesterday.
Ugh. And she just throws it, like, out, not at the brother.
She flings it in disgust, and I'm gonna say it kind of hits the wall and slowly slides down, leaving like this greasy, almost like an oil slick behind it.
Both of you come sit here. And she pulls up 2 chairs in the middle of the kitchen.
And they both sit there kind of scowling at each other.
So, if they scowl at each other, she will take both their chins and make sure she turns them away from each other to look at her, and will start taking out stuff to try and patch them up or just stop the bleeding. And probably didn't have ice, but like she's probably got a little bit, maybe she's getting something.
You probably get an ice delivery.
I was gonna say, if I can have that, she'll probably put some up and just put it on her brother's side of his like eye socket, just like, hold that there. And then she'll turn to Samuel, who I'm guessing is really busy, really bloodied because he's been in the frying pan. And she's just like, and just if he's got anything wrong with him, she's stitching him up basically. If he's split a lip,
kind of take a rag, you clear away the blood to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Make a medical check, and we'll just see how well you patch him up.
Oh God, am I going to poison him? Fail.
So you go to clean this wound, and you kind of grab the wrong bottle, and it's like vinegar. And while that kind of helps, it wasn't what you were going for, and it stings.
Well, she's not gentle. She's used to just mixing up her brothers. It's not.
He just swears under his breath in Italian. But yeah, the bleeding will eventually stop, but on the whole, you haven't entirely helped beyond cleaning it up.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But I think the way Lucia's morning is going, that will have to be good enough for Samuel.
Oh, yes.
But you have been thrown out of Miller's Cafe in the disarray of maggots, rat's tails, and horrors of breakfast.
I mean, I didn't order anything, so I guess as I see all these disgruntled people coming out, I'll sort of do the classic fash my fake police badge and just be like, come on, move along, people. Nothing to see here, nothing to see. Disperse, disperse. Move along.
A couple of people, as they go past and Lucia has disappeared into the kitchen, actually take whatever food they still had with them as they were kind of marching out, just lob it at the windows, and it smears down eggy, bready, goopy mess. But they continue once they're done throwing food.
Okay, come on. No need for that. Get out of here, disturbing the peace. Go on.
At this moment, Bert, you realize your bottle and bag are still inside the cafe.
I'll walk up to the window. I'll knock on the door. Lucia! Lucia, I left my bag.
Helena and Eddie, you were just ahead of the crowd before they dispersed. What are you doing in this moment? Are you still outside? Or have you moved on?
I feel like we probably were headed towards the library and didn't really pay attention. I didn't hear anything going on.
Yeah, no, and I think I just was thrown off by the fact that I'm trying to walk and keep up appearances while my stomach is turning upside down, and I have no time for whatever has happened, you know, behind me at the restaurant. We're enthused about the library adventure.
Okay, so let's go with you to the library, and then we'll come back to Bert and Lucia. The library, you are pleased to see, is open this early in the morning, although you do appear to be the only denizens inside, beyond the librarian, who sits at her desk organizing returns, late fines, and similar paperwork.
I think that we walk in and kind of pause in the vestibule of the library, and I kind of lean over and go, God, I used to love the smell of these places. Remember when we used to come into libraries and just breathe?
Yeah. Now your nose is gone, I guess.
I don't come here as often as I did before I lost my sense of smell.
I'm so sorry that you don't have that anymore. That's a wonderful smell.
I'm assuming it smells good in here.
It smells great. I will be your nose from now on.
Marvelous. All right, what are we doing? We gotta find out all we can about this courthouse. I was up all night thinking about this weirdo that built this courthouse.
I was too, actually. I'm fairly obsessed with it now for some reason. And we could look up some records, I think, about the courthouse itself, but also about the witch trial, if possible.
Well, and I remember you saying something about the blueprints of the building, and I don't remember if we saw that yesterday or not. I don't think we did.
I don't think so. If we did, it didn't show the weird basement. Oh, no, I think we did see them, and I think that
you didn't see the blueprints as such. You were told they would be at the courthouse.
Okay, we saw
details on the building in the local history section.
That's right.
But
yeah, because I remember you said that there was some sort of basement, but it wasn't exactly what we
in the account of the witch trial, you knew that the witch had been kept in the cellar cells, so you know that does exist.
Yes. And I want to see maybe some newspapers going back then, or whatever they would have had that would have talked about this trial and explained who this woman was and why she was put on trial as a witch.
So for that, there's a skill, I think, that's called Use Library.
Ooh.
I believe that is a specific skill.
Sweet. Maybe I could roll history or something. Let me look at what I got here. I don't think I have used library.
Oh, I failed. Oh,
yes, I do. I have a good used library.
Please work. Come on.
Dude.
Did you get it?
Yes, hang on a second. Well, wait, I have a... Can I take an advantage?
Yep. So you need to roll twice, and we'll take the higher of the two.
Yeah. Because that was a bust.
Well, sorry, the lower of the two. Call the Cthulhu is the other way around.
Oh, come on.
Okay, what do you need to make that a pass? Because you could spend some luck if you would like.
12 to make that a pass.
Oh, you need a 12? I thought you said you had to use library.
I have a 50 in use library.
Okay, so you would need to spend 12 points of luck if you want.
And that's permanent?
Yes.
There's
quite a big spend.
It's a big spend. I don't think so. I think we find. I think I just blow my research roll.
So what happens is, Helena, you wander back towards the local history section, and on the way through, you find so many other books that are kind of catching your attention, things that would be of interest, and you actually find the place in the Dewey Decimal System where you should be. You are currently not, and you begin kind of putting books in. And maybe checking out other books that are around you, finding out who your neighbors are, and that kind of gets your attention. Meanwhile, Eddie, you've wandered on further. You've made it past where Helena made it. Only your stomach cramps real bad, and you are very distracted by the cramping, and you're trying to read, but you've got like a little bit of sweat going on, as the nausea is really starting to kind of get you, and it's making you lightheaded. And
it's hot in here.
I will allow you both ask me one question. For a piece of information that you may get from this library trip.
I guess I'm just, is there any part of the library or is there any function of the library that we didn't know about?
Lucia, and you both can discuss your questions in private chat or with
Okay.
Twitch chat, and then I'll come back to you. Give you time to make sure you're happy with your question.
Also, Mel Hadale donates because Charlie needs another nat 20 and everyone else needs another nat 1.
Oh boy. Alright, Lucia, you hear Bert rapping on your window after the dull studs and splats of food being cast at it.
She's probably quite flustered. She leaves, as she leaves her brother, and Samuel is like, either of you hit each other, and I'll beat you with the frying pan myself. And she turns and leaves to go towards the door, and she sort of tries to smooth her hair a little bit and her shirt, and then seeing Bert and noticing it down by the chair, she'll pick it up and open the door, and she's like, I'm so sorry, but here you are. I hope this has not caused any problems.
Oh, no, I never really come here to eat anyway, Lucia, but, if you want a hand figuring out what got up to this, you know, I'll give you a big discount on my services.
I will have a think about that. Thank you for it. That's so kind.
Well, you've been good to me, you know.
And it's like, if you need anything else, just let me know.
And the cafe looks like a hurricane has passed through, and there's just food everywhere. It's on the floor, it's on the walls, it's in places that you have no idea how they managed to get it there in the time that they had. And it's just a disaster, and the smell is starting to kick in. You don't know how you didn't notice it all morning, just this smell of sickly sweet rotting food.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, how the hell did they get it on the ceiling? Like, she's sort of like looking up. But she's just still smiling sweetly at Bert, just like, can I do anything else for you? We were closed until this evening.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like you've got a lot to clean up here, so I should probably get on.
Okay. Well, maybe I will see you later.
Yes.
A drink on me. A drink on me.
That'd be very much appreciated, Lucia. And you know, I know it can be difficult for a young woman in the big, well, we're not in the big city anymore. I know it can be difficult for a woman. If you ever need time for, you know, me to help you with any of these ruffians giving you a hard time, you know, I'll happily step in. Because, I know what with you being of the fairer sex and everything, you might not want to get your hands dirty.
And she sort of smiles. I mean, in her head, she's like, oh my god. She's like, I'm perfectly capable. She's like, do you know what, but that would be lovely. Thank you. If I ever need your help, I will ask for a big, strong man like you.
Oh, of course. Well, I've got places to be. I'm sure you've got cleaning up covered, you know.
Oh, there's a bit of a mess in the kitchen. I need to tidy up.
Yeah, but you know, that's. I know you're probably good at that sort of thing.
I am.
Yeah.
You know, like the same way you're very good at protecting gentle women like me.
Yeah. That's the way of things. Yeah. Well, if you want me to look into anything, I will. I can maybe have a look around the kitchen before you tidy up, if you like.
Oh no, don't worry. I've got a couple more rats I need to deal with first. If I do a bit of I mean, I can't have you in my kitchen when it's messy. You understand?
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. A woman's home is in the kitchen, and I wouldn't like to interfere. what I'll do is I'll recommend you though Morton's hardware store. They do some great rat poisons if you need any. There are good traps in there too.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm very good at handling them myself, but I will remember that. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I'd just like to be any help I can. Now, excuse me. I have to be at the train station.
Thank you.
See you later now. Have a good day.
You have a fantastic day, Bert, and I'll see you this evening.
You know, if people give you trouble like that often, maybe you might want to consider, you know, bearing arms or something. Something just to, you know, make you less feeble.
Do you mean a gun? I couldn't wield a gun.
Well, I'm not saying...
These arms look like they could lift and fire a gun.
I'm not saying that you should go firing a gun. I'm just saying that sometimes you're looking a little tougher when you know, that can really help.
And I'll think about it. I'm not a gun person. I don't like violence.
Of course. Of course. No women like violence, of course.
No.
I think you've done very well so far not to faint. Well done.
Thank you. I've had a lot of practice.
Well done you. I guess that's growing up with brothers.
Oh yes, I'm a little more hardy than most women, but I am still a lady nonetheless.
Of course, and I'll quickly take my hat off. Like, yeah, of course.
And she will sort of just have a sweet smile and sort of nod her head. Tim's like, I'm so glad that you get it.
Yeah, yes. I most certainly get it. And I empathize with your struggle.
It is a struggle. I mean, look at me. I could do no harm. I just need someone to help me every now and then.
That's right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Lucia, did you ever find yourself a man when you were growing up? Did your brothers ever let anyone get close to you?
Of course they didn't. And you know my father.
Oh, but I thought he was dead.
He's not dead. He's in jail, but...
Oh.
At least that's what I'm hoping that's where he is.
Well, I hope he gets out soon and that you,
I really hope he doesn't, but...
Oh, okay. Well, I hope they keep the damn rat bastard locked up till the end of the earth. But if you ever need someone around, you know, I can help out, is what I'm saying.
I'm sure you can, Bert, and I will always take you up on that if I ever need any help.
Okay. You know.
I'm really sorry. I've got to go back to cleaning my kitchen.
Yes, cleaning kitchen. Cleaning kitchen. Yep, I've got to get to the train station. You clean that kitchen like I know you can, and I'll if you need anything from the store or anything, perhaps some shake and vac or whatever the hell you guys use.
I'll let you know, but it'll be all absolutely fine.
Okay.
And, maybe you could show me how to shoot a gun sometime.
Well, you know what? Just holding one would probably be enough. I mean, I don't know if your little arms could keep hold of it with the recoil and everything.
I've got very weak wrists. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We don't want to break your wrist, and they're very loud too. I don't want you to be
loud.
Yeah, very loud. And
I don't like violence.
Just imagining that bullet ripping into a body. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to handle it, you know?
I'm starting to feel a little worn.
Please take a seat. I'm sorry. Here. Let me give you a little something for your constitution. It's not yours, but.
Oh no, I don't really. I can't drink. I've got too much work.
Well.
As you offer forth this bottle and you kind of slightly bring it out, a note falls out of the paper bag to your feet.
Oh. Excuse me. I'll just pick it up and pocket it quickly. I don't know where that came from. I really should get off to the train station.
But that's absolutely fine. Thank. And she reaches out and she touches his arm. She's like, "Thank you, Bert."
Well, no, thank you. And I'm sorry I don't really often try your cooking. I look forward to trying it in future.
I don't blame you after today.
Well, I don't think this is a regular occurrence. This looks like someone's been playing something funny. So, like I say, if you want me to look into that, I most certainly can. I wouldn't want you to get all confused thinking about it.
I know, it's so difficult thinking of so many things.
Well, I'm here to help out if you need it.
I know you are, but I respect that in a man.
And Bert will sort of turn and leave. Like
And she like waves at the door, she's like, goodbye.
Yep.
And as she closed the door, she'll roll up her sleeves and walk straight back into the kitchen like, what? And she starts shouting at the two guys that are in the kitchen if they've started hitting each other again.
At which point, let's cut back to the library. While we just let what just happened sink in a little bit. Let's start with Eddie. What is your key question as you were finally kind of getting to look through the books?
I want to look through, I've been reading newspapers regularly in this area for a decade, but I get the feeling that this judge goes back further than that, and I would go through any records the library has on the judge who built the courthouse. Is he dead? When did he die? Any other information I can find about him.
The judge who built the courthouse is definitely dead, as the courthouse has been standing in this spot since about 1685, although it wasn't completed until 1701.
Got it.
And that is about all you can glean, as the nausea is just unbearable. You're getting like hot, cold flashes, your stomach is cramping. It's like a white noise, and as you kind of massage your temples, you knock your glasses and your nose falls to the floor and smashes. Something about the tempering of the metal has given way and it falls to a million pieces.
Oh no.
I think he immediately reaches for his handkerchief that he keeps right here in his pocket square and covers it, because he will be dead before Helena sees his face.
Okay, and Helena, what was your question?
I wanted to look up the trial of the witchcraft. That's the main thing I'm concerned about. And the woman's name, which I can't remember if I got last time, and why she was said to be a witch of all things.
You do find a book about the trial, or rather 3 pages in a book about the trial. And you are scanning through it, and you see the name. Let me check my notes. Esther. I can't find her last name. It's Esther W. I will get you her last name in a second.
Okay.
And it tells the account at the time was that she was accused of making her husband impotent, as well as seducing the very proper pastor who lived next door.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
And there were other accusations made, causing all the roses of the neighbor's garden to wilt, attracting black cats. The general superstitions of the time is kind of all laced in there, and it's hard to filter through what could even possibly be true. You're fairly sure none of it could be true.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what you find out about good old Esther, whose name I still can't find, but I will get it to you, I promise.
So while Helena is deep in research, I nonchalantly take a knee and gather up the pieces of my nose and put them in my pocket.
Damn it. Have a bad day.
And Helena, you actually hear Eddie exclaim this, and this is what distracts you from finishing off the chapter.
So I would go to him. I think, unfortunately for him, I would probably walk around to wherever I heard these sounds and try and figure out what's going on with him.
You come across Eddie between two stacks, and the stacks are controlled by a wheel that kind of moves them along. And he's obviously been looking for information from a certain period within the stacks, and is deeply, apparently, engrossed in some of these newspapers.
Oh no, Eddie, do you have a cold?
Yeah, yes. I'm not. I gotta say, I'm not feeling well. I thought that I think I drank too much coffee. But this is fascinating. This judge was a wacko. But I gotta tell you, I'm really not feeling well. Did you see which way the restroom was when we came in here?
Yeah, it's towards the back.
All right. If you'll excuse me, you let. I can't wait to find out what you have gleaned from what you're looking at. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, hope you're okay.
And I swiftly beat it out of there.
Okay, and Eddie disappears.
I want to look at whatever he had out looking at, just to see what he was doing.
Okay, so looking at the handful of papers that are on the table just out from these stacks, you see that he was looking at the opening of the courthouse itself. The front page has an illustration of the building along with a caricature of the judge himself, who was the founder and commissioner for the building.
Judge Ivo Shandor.
Yes, Judge Shandor. He is a particularly skinny-looking gentleman. He has a long hooked nose and really dark eyes. And as you stare at this face, there's something deeply unsettling about it within you. A shiver runs up and down your spine. And for a moment, you were stood in the courthouse. In fact, you were stood in the courtroom. The room where previously you had been sat in the jury box. But this time you're back in that witness stand where you'd been interviewed. Only this time, looking down, you are not in your own clothing, but in the clothing of the late 17th century. And for a terrifying moment, you glance up to where the judge's bench is, and you see not the familiar judge that you'd known, the flustered man with a doddering sense of propriety, but this strange bird-like man with his hooked nose peering down at you, his gavel raised as he passes judgment. And with a bang, you realize that somehow you drifted off, and that your head had just dropped as you've been reading through these papers. As if something strange in the light in this library just makes you sleepy. Perhaps last night you didn't sleep as well as you thought you had.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm back, though. I'm back in the library now, like, aware.
Yep, you're just back. It was a very weird dream.
Now I'm wondering if who I was might have been Esther. Was this the judge who oversaw her trial, by chance?
You didn't see a listing for the name of the judge in the description of the crime. You've been reading. You've been too distracted to finish those pages, and I'm basing that on the fact you did fail your library use.
Yes. Yeah.
The name is Esther Weir, by the way. I'm really sorry that took me so long to find.
W-E-A-R? Or...
W-E-I-R. I put it in chat as well.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I think I would be taking notes now, and a little bit of what I got from my books, a little bit of what I'm seeing here that he was looking at. Kind of waiting for him to come back, but also I'm not going to stop looking up information while he's gone.
Okay. And we'll cut to Bert.
Yeah.
What are you doing? As you leave Miller's Cafe, having done the good thing and treated Lucia with kindness and consideration.
Oh, yeah, I know she's going to be glowing all day from that, you know? Like, just a few little compliments and a protective arm to, you know, I've done her a service today. I'm gonna head to the train station. I know that these guys are due to arrive at some point today, and I've got nowhere better to be. So I guess I'll head there and wait for him to arrive. Maybe I'll smooth out my shirt a little bit, try and wipe some of the grease stains off. And, where the hell do I get grease from? I don't eat. And I'll take a notebook and start getting ready to interrogate. I guess I know what he looks like. I'll wait to see him coming off the train. I'll wait by the exit rather than waiting on the platform.
So you need to go into the city.
Oh.
The train. Yeah.
Oh, well then I'll hop in my car and start driving down there.
Okay, as you do and you take the keys from your pocket, that note falls back out again. This note that really wants to be read.
Oh yeah. I'll take up the note. I'll rest it against the steering wheel while I start up the engine. Let's have a read of this here.
The note says, "Stay away from the Millers. You're a good customer, that's why we're warning you. Stay away from them."
Huh. Stay away from the Millers. Now, this fell out of the brown paper bag. It came from Jackson. And Jackson knows that I go to the Millers for alcohol as well as him, so maybe he's trying to up his gig or something. Maybe he's trying to keep me away. I need to ask him some questions. And I'll just put...
I'm going to say from the start, I'm going to use one of my nat 20s. There is something about this note that deeply disturbs you. The more you think about it, it could be your theory that he's trying to keep you away from there, but the fact is such a significant warning.
I really need to ask him some questions. Lucia, she's alright. She's a poor defenseless little lady. She needs all the support and help she can get. Not enough. Maybe her brothers are up to no good. I need to ask him some questions, but first I need to find out more about my daughter. So I'm going to head over to this fiancé and question the hell out of him.
So you hop in your car and you turn the key and nothing happens. It doesn't even chug.
Oh no. So I guess I'll hop out, go around the front, take out the crank handle, and try and turn the engine over myself. I'll be sitting there.
As you do this, I'm going to say you make an auto repair, and I'm going to say you nat 1 it.
Oh.
As you end up doing damage to your car's engine. The crank handle snaps in half of it remains stuck in there, and you spend the next 10 minutes trying to pry it out, causing injury to your hand.
Ah. Oh. Get a rag for that. I guess smoke starts coming off the engine like, shit. I'm gonna kick the car. Probably a headlight falls off, you know.
Yeah, it's a case of like one catastrophe after another in kind of a Rube Goldberg experiment. You know, you knock the wind mirror, which pings something onto the window smashes, that kind of disastrous chain of events.
I might as well just light a match on it. Well, crap. I'll start walking towards the towards my house, I guess. I'm gonna have to make some calls, get my car taken care of. I'll just start walking.
You do know, if you're still determined to get to the city today, there is a train station in town and the line is direct.
How much time do I have before his train arrives?
It's at 5:15 and it's still the morning, so you would have time to get into the city.
Would I have time to make calls as well?
You imagine so, if the trains are running on time.
That'll be his plan of action then. He'll go and make some calls about getting his car towed or whatever and get it in the shop. And then his plan will be to head to the train station, head into the city, and meet him there. He's starting to get a bit more like, as his plan gets longer and longer and longer, he's starting to get a bit more. Perhaps I should have just stayed with Lucia. Should have just stayed and helped her clean up or something. Oh, I can't enter it. I can't.
It feels very much like a repeat of yesterday in some ways. everything's a non-starter for you right now.
See, because the other plan that's lurking at the back of his brain is go back to your house, drink a bottle, drink that reserve bottle you've been thinking about, and don't do anything. But he's sort of like,
Why don't we make a willpower test? Let the dice decide how strong Bert is feeling today as he begins making his day longer and longer and more complicated.
willpower, willpower, willpower.
That's a cool characteristic. It's power.
Power. Got it.
Okay, so with an extreme success, you take a sip from that bottle that you already have in your hand, and the ominous feeling just puts you off of it. Just, this isn't good news today. No more drinking. You have stuff to do, and you're not going to have time if you're kind of doing it half-baked.
Yeah, not today. Not today. Okay. Clear-headed, Bert. Come on, clear-head. Let's get back to your house. Let's make some calls, go to the train station, interrogate the person, everything else. Let's do it. Come on, Bert. He's giving himself a pep talk in the middle of the street. Anyone watching is going to think he's a weirdo. And he's going to start, like, briskly walking. Like, do you know what? He's actually, with an extreme success, he's going to sling the bottle to one side. Like, don't need that today.
The bottle kind of hits the damp turf of a garden. It kind of bounces and it lays on its side. It kind of glug 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 glug.
Yep. Nope. 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 Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking.
Okay, and you get to your house and you begin about your plans. Lucia, however, your morning is improving slightly as the two scolded men get to work cleaning up first the kitchen and then the cafe for you. The two of them, they're not quite on speaking terms, but you have the impression they've gotten out of their system whatever had gotten into them. And what's more of your family arrive at the door. The younger cousins, the ones not really in the business, but maybe looking for an in at some point. And eventually everyone is roped into helping, and some of them even manage to supply you with fresh ingredients. The source of which may be questionable, but they are fresh, and they don't cost you a penny.
Yeah, she won't care where they've come from as long as they're good. She will take them, and she will give the big hug and the kiss on each cheek and take the things from them and probably make up a batch of coffee or something for them all to have whilst they're bringing it in.
And by about lunchtime, by about 12 o'clock, the place is actually spotless. And the door is opened as as Samuel has gone out to clean that front window for you, and people begin arriving. Somehow, someone hasn't gotten the message about the disaster that happened this morning, and the smell of coffee, fresh eggs, bacon, pancakes, drawing people in for their lunch.
She will stand.
From relief, I imagine.
Oh yeah, she's relaxed. Like she's trying to look relaxed as if nothing has happened, but she's at the same time just like thank God we turned this round as quickly as we did, sort of thing.
And seeing the shoulders drop, your brother Matthew, who is kind of still lurking in the kitchen with a sweeping brush. You know a name, right? They're not just called sweeping brushes. Broom.
A broom. Good old sweeping brush.
With broom, and he kind of lays it against the wall and disappears out the back door.
She'll nod to him and just say thank you as he leaves.
He gives you a nod back, says, I'll be seeing you. And
I know.
That's away. So, cutting back to the library, you guys have actually ended up being in here a few hours. And Eddie, when do you return from your bathroom break?
Okay, so I don't think he runs. I think he looks at the pieces of his nose and sees that clearly he's not, they're shattered, right? He's not going to be able to, like, I don't keep crazy glue on me. So I think he puts them in his pocket, takes a good long look in the mirror at what he looks like, ... and then ties his handkerchief around his face, up over his nose, and, like, steels himself for the fact that he's not happy about it. In fact, he's pretty much flipping out. And he also is having Montezuma's revenge, apparently, so that's not good. But he can go back, and he doesn't want to abandon Helena in the library. And so he puts the handkerchief over his face, washes his hands, puts all his crap in his pockets, and turns around and goes back to Helena. And kind of maybe, like, walks up behind her, maybe too quietly, and is like, "So what'd I miss?"
Well, something strange just happened to me, and I think that I should tell you, because I don't exactly know what's going on, but after you left, I was going over my notes that I had just gotten from the books I read about the witch trial, and then I was going over the notes that you had been taking in the books that you were looking at about the Judge Shandor, and out of nowhere, I seemed to be transported almost in, like, a dreamlike state, and I was in our courtroom, except for I was once again on the witness stand, but when I looked down, I was wearing clothing not from our time period. It seemed 17th century, and Judge Shandor was overseeing the case. And then I woke up here, and I must have fallen asleep, but it doesn't feel like it was just a dream. It feels like something very strange is going on. I don't know if we're getting close to something we shouldn't be or what, but something's going on.
I'm seriously, like, lightheaded right now. Hearing it. I don't know why. It's weird. No, I look, the reason I want to know all I can about this guy is that this guy and others like him, they use esoteric architecture to manipulate the human mind. This is how they built churches in Europe for hundreds and hundreds of years. They are meant to bend the will of people. They are built in such a way as to affect the human brain and take it in places that it does not want to go. And I am very concerned that that is what is happening here. And if we are going to be on this jury for 2 weeks, we need to arm ourselves and defend our minds against this building. It's real. It is, I don't believe in monsters, and I do believe that dreams are more than just dreams. But I'll tell you that architecture used as a weapon against the human mind is a real thing, and we must arm ourselves immediately. And that includes the people that are on that jury that we care about. We need to show them how to defend themselves. And that's, in my opinion, why we came here today, and why the next time I'm in that courthouse, I need to look at those blueprints, because I think there's parts of it that we haven't seen. And I'm very concerned that there are people on this jury and people in that building who are vulnerable to what it can do. I'm concerned that this happened too far away from the courthouse. Here we're on the library. I don't think Shandor built the damn library unless he did. And I'd like to know that too. Now I gotta, it's only more questions. It's not good. Are you all right?
I feel a little off, I'll be honest. I don't feel 100% myself, but I think that at least I'm aware enough to know that something is going on and messing with my mind, and this isn't just something to ignore. So I feel better about that. But something just happened while I was looking at these papers and books, and we're not in the courthouse. So did I see something in the pictures maybe that messed with my mind? I don't understand what happened just from looking at a book. Maybe it's
I have
wrong.
I have been to Masonic lairs. I've been to meetings where where the architecture and the things like art and sculpture and design in the room is violent towards the human mind. And this building that we're going to be in, it's particularly sneaky in that way. In my opinion, you kind of have to know what you're looking for to know how they've built that makes it so dangerous. And you and I know that. And I think that there are other people in that jury who maybe do not have that perspective. And it's up to the two of us to learn all we can about this, because 2 weeks in that place, unprepared, it's not good. And meanwhile, I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Also, after what happened to me and Lucia in the cellar basement thing, I'm assuming that she's a bit aware of something going on, and I guess Bert was there too, so I guess all four of us kind of know something's weird. I don't know if they are more just letting it go, it's like, okay, that was nonsense, whatever, or if they're like, okay, something's wrong, but maybe we should get them in on this.
I will tell you that under nearly all circumstances, Lucia can take care of herself.
Oh,
Believe me.
definitely. I believe that. I
But
just want to
that's
make
how
sure that they're
dangerous
aware
this is.
of the mental issues that could be affecting us mentally, because that can harm you so quickly and you won't know what's going on.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel a responsibility to prepare her for this and to give her some more information, and we'll have to do that. Bird, I don't know. Maybe too drunk to hear it. Mine might already be gone. I don't know him well enough.
I
But-
would say that if anyone tells Bert, it should be you. He and I don't have the best history between us. Just letting you know, his daughter and I had a bit of a relationship when we were younger. He was not okay with it. He kind of pushed us apart a little bit, and then I went off to Paris and haven't really talked to her since. So if you want to talk to him, that might be better if we're trying to give him some information that he'll accept, because for me, it's probably not going to be good.
Well, I will talk to Bert as soon as I can. Right now, I look like I'm about to commit the great train robbery. And so as soon as I put myself back together, we will have to find a way to articulate
Mhm.
what we're up against to at least those two people.
And I want
Because-
to show Lucia the witch trial stuff, because she was in the cellar with me. She saw the gallows and heard the rope swinging and the creepy stuff. So she'll at least be open, I think, to that. So we can try with that maybe.
At this moment in the conversation, the librarian comes over with an armful of newspapers that she needs to freshly sort into the archives. And she puts them on the table near to you, as there aren't many tables in this area of the library.
What's on them? What does she have in her hands?
That would be a spot hidden check, please.
Okay. Oh, I'm just going to use my nat 20.
Okay.
I've been failing too much.
With a nat 20, you see most of these papers, the front page of which is actually consumed with the murder trial that you are about to sit on the jury of. You see a photograph of the cabin. It's not a great photograph. Clearly the lighting was off, and it seems a very dark place. You can make out a figure stood in the foreground. And I'm going to say within that 20, as this gets your attention and she moves away with another kind of half of the pile, you bring this newspaper closer to you, and you can see a figure within the gloom of the cabin itself.
Have no one else has recognized this in the picture, or is this something only like?
It comments
Great.
on the policeman stood in front, but it says from the moment this picture was taken, the cabin had been sealed.
Okay.
So, to your brain, that says there shouldn't be anyone in there, and in the picture you clearly see someone stood there in the cabin.
Can I point this all out to Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay. So I show this to Eddie and I show him this picture. Has the librarian walked off, or is she still there?
She's kind of gone down the stacks to file her first kind of half of the stack of papers, so she's kind of
Okay.
out of earshot in this moment.
So I want to take that paper um, so I can have it, and kind of circle that little image in there and see if Eddie sees it too.
Eddie, if you can make a spot hidden for me, we'll see if you can make out what Helena is trying to show you. And I'll say, previously this would have needed an extreme success to notice. I will take just a regular success, as Helena is pointing it out.
It's thinking about it. It says rolling the dice. There we go. Ugh. Good lord.
With your, is that a success? I didn't know how far you was
No, hold on a second. No, I don't think so. Spot hidden. No.
Okay.
I have a 50.
So you were squinting down at this newspaper, and Helena's trying to show you something blurry, and the bandana that you're hiding behind is fogging up your glasses, making it nearly impossible to see anything.
Well, that's true, actually. So.
And at this moment, the librarian's coming back across to come and collect the rest of the papers to file.
So I've sneakily put that in my bag, like, really quick, so she doesn't see me.
Okay.
I think I like get a wave of nausea and like put my forearm on your shoulder and like facing the other direction from you and just be like, look, I'll take your word for it. All right. Here's the thing about the cabin. Something's wrong. And we got to go get a look at it. And first we got to check it out. Here's some things. We don't do it at night.
Yeah.
When I got home from Paris, I got sick. And the people told me that I had to go up to the woods, that I should go to the Pacific Northwest for the air, the moist air, the cool air. And I'll tell you, there's things in the woods. There's a reason I don't go in the woods. But we got to go look at that cabin. I need to see it. And I don't feel like I can do it alone.
And I feel like we should bring our bodyguard Lucia too. If we can show her this stuff and see what she thinks about it, and see if she wants to join us. If not, it can be just you and I. I know we can handle it, but
I think you're full of good ideas.
okay. And if you want to try and talk to Bert, I don't know if in a day, because I feel like we should go today since this is our day off. If possible, up to you, Charlie, I guess. But if we can go today, that might be a good idea, because I don't know the next time we'll get a day off.
That's what I'm saying. There might be time. I don't know. I'm happy to talk to Bert, but I've got to get myself together. And I like put my head between my knees and like sit on a stack of books or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like talking just loud enough that she can hear me. Like, I'll do my best, but we gotta sack up. We gotta take a big deep breath. We gotta put ourselves together. You and I know enough to know that what we are up against is not just a trick of the light. Those buildings are built to hurt people. I have seen it before.
But I would like you to do a sanity check.
I don't think he heard you.
Oh, not Bert. Sorry, Eddie.
Oh, me?
I'm doing my classic of getting them. Yes, Eddie, I'd like you
Paging.
to make a sanity check.
I was like, that sounds like something I should do.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's bad. Hold on. Let's see how bad this is. It ain't good. Oh, no. I'm like sanity 68. Yeah, I blew that one.
Okay. With your head between your knees, you pass out very momentarily. You fall into the darkness. And in the darkness, you feel the creeping dread that tugged at you the last time you were in the woods. The last time you saw something that shouldn't have been real and was real. And it dawns on you, it definitely was real. It wasn't a trick of the light. And you are certain these things are coming after you here. You don't know how, you don't know why, but you are certain they are coming after you here. And you lose 3 points of sanity.
Yeah. And I think he just keeps saying there's something in the woods.
By the way, with the sickness thing, and I ate my bagels too. Is he just extra sick because of wild magic surge, or is?
Make a Constitution save. We'll see how you do.
Don't tell her you ate the donuts.
Well, I had a bagel with lox too. So
Oh, the
probably-
bagel, right? Yeah, the bagel. Oh,
Sorry.
that locks.
With
That
the-
locks will get you into trouble. Sorry.
With
Yes.
the sanity loss, when you come to, you will feel like queasy for a while, but it will begin to fade the sickness as you begin to realize what was really churning at you wasn't something physical, it was something mental.
Me?
Yeah. Helena, what happens to you with your bagel is you actually take a bite and it doesn't taste right. And you kind of pull it out and you look and you realize you shouldn't eat any more of this. And that keeps you from getting sick.
You want to go find Lucia?
Yes, please.
She has a truck, I believe. I remember that. I don't have a vehicle.
Oh, good, because I ain't walking.
I think I like stumble out of there with like my hand on your shoulder. Like I think you have to like all but help me out of there.
That's totally fine. So we'll make our way back to the cafe.
Okay. You return to the cafe and it is about lunchtime when Lucia is up and running and dishing out the food. But you have had a busy rest of your morning.
Yeah.
Who have you made phone calls to?
The local auto repair.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to get him to pick up and repair my vehicle.
Okay, so you speak to the guy whose name's Mickey, and he says he'll come by and get the car. What is your relationship with Mickey?
No, we're not close. You know, I think he's a damn crook. The amount he charges. I you know, it's painfully pleasant. I need him.
Mm-hmm. And you are warned there's, the call out charge, and if it needs parts, it may take a couple of days.
Does he keep
but
making that teeth sucking noise as well? God damn it!
No.
God damn it! I'm certain.
But he does at the end of the call offer to loan you a vehicle. You'd have to pay for the gas. But he has a vehicle he's just finished working on that he would be happy to loan you.
Do you know what? I've heard about accepting loans from Mickey.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass. It's very generous of you, Mickey. Very generous, but I think I can manage a few days without a vehicle. We got a train station in town. I'll just have to start working off this gut, I guess.
You haven't heard then?
What's that?
Railway's on strike. Gonna be on strike for 3 days. No trains coming in and out of the area.
The area, like the city nearby, or just here?
Here, the city, 3 towns over.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Alright, well, thanks for the tip, Mickey. No, I hadn't heard.
Right then. And he hangs up.
I slam that receiver down like, God fucking damn it. Alright, so there's no trains coming in or out.
Nope.
Which means the fiance isn't going to turn up today. Which means there's no point going to the train station. Unless they're doing that whole goddamn bus replacement service bullshit. So, I'll head over to Jackson's then and give Jackson... I want to speak to Jackson about this note.
Alright. And you head to Jackson's. He's just up the street from you. The kitchen window is now closed. You do hear Mrs. Jackson in the kitchen, probably doing her washing up, something of that nature. You can tell because she's singing to herself. She's humming one of the latest jazz songs that's come out of New York. You
Okay.
can hear her feet tapping away.
I'm not a fan myself, but hey, I'll go and knock on the door, I guess.
You hear the sound of whatever was being washed up, put down, her feet going through the house, over the tiles, onto the wooden carpet, and down onto the wooden carpet, onto the wooden floor, and down the hallway to answer the door. Yes?
Hi, is Jackson in?
Oh, I'm afraid I've not seen it. What is your last name? Remind me. Markham?
Morecambe.
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 Yeah, I'm afraid he's gone out, Mr. Morecambe.
Oh, do you have any idea when he'll be back?
He said something about dinner. He said he'd be in, so probably then. We normally eat about 6.
All right. Well, thank.
You were after. I can sort that out for you.
Oh no. Thank you. I'm all sorted for today. I just wanted to. He had a message that he gave me, and I didn't quite understand, so I just wanted to come and clarify. Let him know I called, please.
At this point, you hear the youngest member of the Jackson family start crying, a baby, upstairs in the house.
Oh.
And as she turns to leave, you're reminded of your wife, and you're reminded of the day that you brought Victoria home. Tell us about that day, Bert.
The day that I brought Victoria home from Helena's, sorry?
From the hospital.
From the
Well,
hospital.
yeah, from Helena, whichever would remind you.
Whew. Well, like every good story, it was raining. I hadn't really spoken much to Victoria in the car. She'd been doing this whole silent thing with me for a long time. She'd been doing it so long I stopped even trying to make small talk. Well, except for the "how are you," which was met with the usual glare. I don't know what I'd do to piss her off. But we got back and opened the door. Go in and there's Julie. You know, we're living in the city at this point, so we were doing quite well for ourselves. We just had an apartment. I walk in, she's, you know, washing up and stuff. And Victoria just bursts into tears. Runs into her mother's arms. I'm confused as heck. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I leave them to it, you know, let girls be girls, let them sort out this emotional stuff, and hopefully I can speak to one of them later when they're speaking sanely. And I did. I sat down with Julie over a cup of cocoa in the evening and asked her what was wrong. And she said it was something to do with me. She said that there was something about me that was inherently making Victoria unhappy. That I needed to do something different. I said, well, like what? What should I do that's different? And she was like, well, try being a bit more accepting. I didn't know. Oh, my camera's gone crazy. Just tried deactivating and reactivating that.
Oh yeah, you look fine on Zoom, but on stream you were doing something crazy.
I went into Mario Super Mode for a second there. But you know, I said, what do you mean by more accepting? And she was like, love takes all forms. And I was like, what the hell do you mean? Love's simple. Man, woman, they have kids. Love. She just sighed. It was kind of awkward feeling. It's been that way a long time. Since Victoria started growing up. I don't know. It was like her growing started putting a wedge between me and Julie. I don't blame Victoria. but they had a real connection, and I always seem to be in the way of that. I just accepted it. Just, you know. Carried on doing my day job. Getting stressed. Coming home, seeing them two. Always, you know, crying or being upset. Sometimes, you know, Victoria would just have bursts of rage at me.
And as you're recalling a particularly bad burst of rage from Victoria, the door shuts. It's not a slam, just a quiet click. And you are reminded of where you are. But I need you to make a sanity check.
That's a success.
Okay. On a success, you don't feel like you don't feel any physical or mental drain from this memory, but you would still be experiencing in a very strong way the emotions, and you would still recall the small memory of that fight that you repressed, that you were just about to go into, and that will stay with you the rest of the day.
Yeah. Still don't know what it was
Meanwhile,
about.
Miller's Cafe. Eddie, are you going back to your hotel room before you go to Miller's Cafe, or are you going straight there with Helena?
No, I don't think I can make it all the way to the hotel. I think I go straight. I think Helena has to basically help me to Miller's. And I collapse into a chair as soon as we get through the doors.
Lucia will see this and just be like, Eddie, what happened? And she sort of runs over, trying to be her sort of sweet self at this point.
Take my hat off. I'm like, the woods.
Is he okay?
It's the woods. Something in the woods.
The woods? What is he talking about? And she sort of looks over to Helena.
Well, when we were, I don't know how much to tell you at this moment. There's a kind of a lot going on that we kind of wanted to talk to you about, but something's happening and something's wrong with Eddie.
It's the cabin. It's the cabin in the woods.
We need to go. We feel we need to go to the cabin where the murder happened, and we wondered if you wanted to go with us. We can explain everything to you if you'd like.
You want to go to the cabin? What's wrong with Eddie? Eddie, I know this is a struggle for you, but come on, be coherent. What are you even?
I broke my face. My face is broken. My face is broken.
What do you need, Eddie?
I need a goddamn new face. And I start folding the newspaper into a little triangle and start tearing strips of newspaper from my pocket. And
oh, okay.
Freaking out.
Okay, Eddie. If we go to the cabin, will that make things better?
We have to know. We have to see it. It's our day off. We have to see it. And we have to see it before nightfall. We can't go at night.
Right. Okay. You give me 1 second. And you'll see her disappear into the kitchen and start shouting for someone to come and take over the bar. And she comes back out in a long jacket and a flat cap. And it's like, take my truck, yes? Do you need help standing?
I think I try to get up and I can do it. And
Yeah.
I'm maybe just together enough to have my pride at least walking out of this place and I'm fine, I can walk. I'm just gonna walk
Okay.
to the truck.
And she'll walk ahead of you and get the truck pulled up around the front. And she'll sort of lean over and push the door and she's like, get in.
And so cool. Also, I have my Colt I have my gun on me in my waistband, just so we can all say it, and also just like I'm still wearing the whole thing, and I'm still like, basically freaking out. And I think I like lie down in the bed of the truck, like on my back with my knees up, like I'm about to give birth or something.
Lucia will look to Helena and be like, "You're gonna have to direct me," and just sort of gestures back, and she reaches in to her coat pocket and pulls out a hip flask and just swigs a little bit of it and then hands it over to Helena. If you don't want any, I'd say give it to him.
I'll give it to him. I've had some weird stuff going on today. I don't think I need anything like that. But thank you. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. Now, where is this cabin? And this is as she's like started the car up, and it's still sort of just like, it's quite an old like van anyway, so it's an old sort of pickup truck, so it's not smooth at all.
And I think that we would have the address, I believe. Well,
You
we'd have a picture of it.
cabins are on the edge of the lake. The only thing you don't know for sure is which number it is.
could there possibly be in the photograph of it like a number on the building? Because sometimes they have them like above the door.
Right, you can't see a number on it when you go to check. But you do think that you could probably figure it out based on like holding the picture up to match the trees.
Yeah, so we can do some distinguishing features once we get there. So I think for now we should just head to where we know the cabins are. Yeah.
Lucia will just drive in the direction. She knows where the cabins are, but she sort of keeps looking back at Eddie just to double check, because I'm assuming he's going a little bit nuts in the back.
I think on the way there that I could possibly explain to you a little bit of what is going on. So at least I could tell you about the witch trials, the hangings, and kind of compare that to what we saw in the cellar.
I was going to say, she's there sort of going, that's like what we saw. I don't understand why this is happening. It's
I don't
not
either.
It's not the first strange thing that's happened. And she'll sort of explain to Helena about feeling like she's being followed by someone, and then the encounter with like this rat man. She's like, I know it sounds crazy. Trust me, I know, but there's something wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I've been seeing things, hearing things. I had some sort of vision today while in the library. I was transported back in time to the courthouse. I was on the witness stand. There was this judge that Eddie's been really focused on. He was there. I was wearing 17th century clothing. I'm assuming it has something to do with the trial as well.
This is insane. But
Also, the reason we're going to the cabin is because I looked at a photo, and I have it with me. I have the photo in the newspaper, and it's still circled, and I show it to her and say, do you see this figure in the window?
do I see it, or is it?
Roll me a spot hidden so you can see it. And while you're doing that, but where do you go?
Oh, it's a
what do
fail.
you do?
It's a good
after
question.
Your instant with Mrs. Jackson. But what is your state of mind? Perhaps I can tell you where you end up.
He sort of first he looks back at his own house, and thinking, well, maybe I can make some calls, and then he's like, well, hell, everything's telling me to take the day off. Everything I've tried to do, nothing's gone right. So I'm just gonna kick back. I'm not gonna go drinking because, you know, it's just not suitable right now. I just don't quite feel it. But maybe I could go. Jackson told me to stay away from the Millers. Gloria's. Do you know what? Without drinking, I am hungry. So maybe I will go to. I'm thinking I'll go and find some food.
And as you walk up to the main square, Lucia's truck is pulling around the fountain on its way out of town. And it has to stop to let a few people cross. And it draws level with you.
Oh. Well, hello there, Lucia. How you doing?
Oh, good afternoon, Bert. And how are you?
Well, you know, it's the whole day's gone pretty much the same way this morning went.
A bit crazy, right?
Boring with a lot of barriers.
I know the feeling. And she
lots of
sort of
memories,
looks back at Eddie and is starting to think if he gets much worse, is Helena and Lucia like herself actually going to be able to deal with Eddie if he goes a bit too far? And she sort of leans out of the van and puts her arm over the side. She said, you know when you said I could ask for a little help? No, I'm...
Oh, do you want me to drive for you?
Oh no, I've got that down. I mean,
I know it can be a real effort, what with all the pulling of the steering wheel and the oil fumes. I can.
It is, but I feel I better practice, because I don't have a man around to look after me, so I should probably practice with it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you need me to step in, I can certainly drive you about.
That is greatly appreciated. Actually, there's one other thing, and she just sort of points to Eddie in the back. I don't know if I can lift him if something goes wrong. I mean,
as I look in, can I see Helena as well?
I like lean forward and.
Oh, and this is my friend Helena. She's lovely and equally as weak. Like just
yes.
really sort of trying
We've met before. Good evening, Helena. I hope you're well.
She is my friend.
Yes. So there's something wrong with Eddie, is there?
He's not too well. I think it's probably something he ate earlier, which obviously
right.
I feel like, this is my fault. I know.
Oh, okay.
It was in my cafe, so it's... But we need to go and check something out. He's not feeling well, and he wants us to go see.
Is he in the back of the truck?
Yeah, he's like laying, I guess.
I'll hop in the back.
Oh, no, it's great. You cut to me. I'm laying on my back, and you're looking right down at me, and then you do the reverse, and I'm just looking up at this slate gray sky that's kind of bouncing along in this nasty truck, and I'm just breathing. There you go.
Okay. I'll get in the back with Eddie and make sure that Eddie's okay.
I don't have great control over the van. I don't want to hit a bump and he fall out.
Eddie fall out?
He might do.
I better. That's true. That is true. I better get in the back and just hold on to him, then make sure that he stays pinned down.
And I can't ask Helena to do it. It's just
no, of course not.
So weak.
I'll hop in the back then. But the first thing, give me a moment. When the light changes, let's just see if I can't get Eddie around. Then I'll just hop in and I'll just sort of like slap you a bit. Eddie, Eddie, are you all right? What's going on, Eddie?
The sky. The sky is a poisonous garden.
No. Nope, you're talking gibberish.
Bert, the sky is a poisonous garden.
Well, Eddie, that's gobbledygook.
Tonight, the sky is a poisonous garden.
No, you see, it's today. We're today, and the sky is beautiful. I'll tell you what. Hang a minute, maybe I've got a hip flask around here somewhere. Let's give you a generous helping, huh? There we go.
Yeah, and I totally drank it.
Yep. Feeling a little better now?
I just like take my head off my head. You gotta have the moment where the guy takes his head off and puts his hands over his face and just screams bloody murder like you scream into your, when you're alone and you're freaking out. You just need a minute to blast a little bit. And the guy I just start yelling. And I take a big deep breath and sit up.
Okay. Well, you got that out of your system. You feeling any better? Need me to slap you around a little bit more?
No, don't. I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine. I don't need to be slapped any further. And I have had a bracing shot of whatever that is.
I think that was the head splitter.
Oh, good. Well, that'll do it, because my head feels pretty split. So, hi, Bert.
Hi, Eddie.
We're in the back of a truck.
We are. Hold on tight, and I'm gonna knock on the truck cam.
Where's the stack? Okay.
Nice and steady. Now you want to put it into. Is this automatic?
Before you finish, she just slams her foot down on the accelerator.
Oh yeah, sorry, Eddie. Yeah, I did Alpha to drive, but you know.
You
She'll
hustle,
be fine.
bustle your way out of town, around the square, just as the clock is striking for 1 p.m. And weave your way through. There's not too much traffic as you get to the outskirts of town, and it becomes a narrow country trail, just the one lane going in one way, one lane going in the other way. And you see the trees are being fairly violently shook out here by a wind that is whistling through. And for Bert and Eddie, it is getting pretty chilly in the back. Especially as Lucia's foot seems to be made of lead. And she pushes her truck to its limits to get you out there. Possibly before anything terrible happens. And eventually you come to a covered bridge. And as you cross this covered bridge, I need you all to make sanity checks.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I failed.
So is a nat
So did I.
is a nat 20 like a 20?
And nat 20 is like, it counts as a 1. It's an extreme success.
The same as a nat 1?
No, a nat 1, okay, so nat 20 for this game counts as an extreme success, which would be a 1
Yes.
on a D100.
Yes.
Whereas a nat 1 would be a 100 on a D100. So nat 1 is a fail, nat 20 is a success.
All right.
Do I have 1 or 2 nat 20s?
You have 3 nat 20s and 2 nat 1s.
3. I'm taking one of my nat 20s. I want to pass this sanity check.
You do. So that's the 2 boys passed, 2 girls failed. Alright.
The ones in the truck.
Yeah, we're the ones driving. So this is bad.
Out of the truck, the landscape around you seems to transform. And Lucia, you have no idea where you are. The road appears to be paved, but there are buildings on either side, a city of some sort. And Helena, as you look around, you realize you're in Paris. And you have zero idea of how you could have possibly ended up on Paris having crossed this bridge. This is going back to a Wild Magic search we got way long ago, which involved a portal. I decided no humble door would be good enough for a portal, so I waited until you were all in a car.
Excellent.
Now you crossed into Paris. Meanwhile, Bert and Eddie, the ride seems to be continuing. It's just pretty cold. The only really disconcerting bit is when Lucia makes a turn, only there's no turn off of the road here, and you head down a bank and into the woods.
Oh, see, I did say we should have driven. Ah! Ah!
Did I take a wrong turn?
Helena and Lucia, in your minds, you're now walking. You don't know where the car went. You're now walking through the streets of Paris.
Like, can I see Helena?
Yes, Helena is with you.
Okay.
It is a dark night, but you hear the sounds of yelling, screaming, and firelight flickering, illuminating buildings.
Where are we? It's happening again.
We are in Paris.
What?
My home city. Well, my decidedly home city.
But no, how are we in? What? And she's still just looking around. And where is that sound coming from?
I feel like Helena as well. It's not just like she's aware that we just transported to Paris. She's like in Paris, even in her mind. Like, okay, yeah, we're here. Nothing's
It's like that dream logic. It just makes sense to you. Both.
Yeah.
Even though Lucia doesn't know where she is, sure, you're here with Helena. But where is here, Helena? Is the kind of feeling.
I want to like just take her arm like with my elbow, or take her elbow, and then like lead her to this like little bar type area, cafe that I always used to go to. Like just get a table, like that's normal. That's where the sound is coming from, I think.
As you round the corner to where this cafe is, you see the normal tables aren't outside. Instead, outside, there isn't the signage you recognize either. But there is an angry mob, and they are charging through the streets, carrying aloft 2 female bodies. Helena, how good is your French?
Very good.
Okay. You hear talk of a revolution, of an uprising in Paris, of the fall of the monarchy. As slowly as you take more and more in and you hear more and more, the French seems old. It's not modern French. And you have that strange feeling of, this is the second time you've maybe time traveled today. As you look up and you recognize the history that you were witnessing.
Lucia doesn't think she sees an angry mob coming, and she grabs Helena and literally just throws them both down, like either an alley or just somewhere out of sight behind a wall or something.
And it's a good thing you do, as the mob seems to be grabbing anyone who passes, and if they do not add to their number, they are beaten until they will lay in the dirt and the grime that coats the cobbles of the street.
What the hell is wrong with Parisians? Like, she doesn't understand what's going on.
I think that Helena is very confused and just like not really all there right now, and you just pulled her away, so she's just kind of confused and not talking, not really responding.
Helena, and she's just like, is it you? And she's like grabbing your face and always like shaking. It's like, hello. I don't know if you noticed, we got a little bit of an issue.
Okay, so I think that would have worked. Just to snap her out a little bit.
She's not doing it like harshly. She's literally just like, come on.
And at the end of this road, you see the 2 figures are lowered onto what appears to be a bonfire. And you can just make out their screams. Large oak barrels are rolled up the street, and you witness as oil is poured onto these screaming women. And the mob is cheering. The mob is delighted.
We need to do something. And she's like literally feeling around to see if she's got her gun on her. Is it there?
Yeah, and I have a dagger.
As you reach it down, you do feel the gun. That is still there. Any item that you had attached to your body is with you.
Yeah, I have my dagger too, so I feel like we need to like charge this and like get these women off somehow. That's what I feel inside.
Like, Lucia will just take out her pistol and start walking towards the mob, just like, hey, like yelling.
Okay, make an intimidation check to see if you get anyone's attention.
Oh dear.
And I'll say that you need a hard success, as they are very focused on what is going on, and there are lots of people.
I am going to use a nat 20.
Yes. Okay.
With a nat 20, a portion of the mob turns around, the portion at the back, and they confront you, and they speak in French. Helena, you understand very quickly they want to know what the fuck this woman is doing.
What are you doing? She's just yelling at them like, what are you doing? Let those women go.
In English or Italian?
It's probably blurring, so like the angry words are in Italian, and she's just started like rambling and getting faster and faster, but you get the gist of it.
How would the French have felt about the Italians back then?
Yep, and as Lucia is getting more and more irate, the truck speeds up on its journey through the woods. Eddie, the ride is getting rockier and rockier as you somehow manage to make it through the trees. But the landscape is not conducive to this truck traveling in this way for much longer. I bet you're having the same experience.
And we're also hitting like right into the woods, right?
Yep.
And I'm banging on the cab, and I want to know what in the hell is going on in there because we've taken a left turn at Albuquerque, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, I'd probably be jumping off onto the side runner to see if I can get up alongside the cab and see what the hell's going on.
Okay, let's get some rolls. We will go with what would be climb. I think we'll go for you on your side runner trying to get.
Oh well. I'm gonna use one of my nat 20s.
And Eddie, if you can also make, I'm gonna go with intimidation. It seems like the most relevant skill for now.
Uh-oh, might have actually done it. Stand by. No. I have a 15. I do not intimidate you.
You fail.
That's exactly. I looked at my climb. It was like 20. I was like, well, okay, time for a nat 20.
But you climb out over the side of the vehicle onto the side runner, and you manage to get to the windows, which are both rolled down. So whose side did you go to, Lucia's or Helena's?
Driver's side.
Driver's side, so Lucia's side. And you see Lucia, her eyes are wide, and she's staring, although you don't believe she's seeing what she's...
Oh, god damn it. She's fainted. I'm gonna, like, push her over and try and swing the door open and get in.
Okay, I'm gonna need a hard strength check. I think,
That's
unless
awesome.
there's maybe brawl would be relevant, something of that nature.
Well, actually, my strength is better than my brawl, so I'll go for that. Hard
Perfect.
success.
Okay. You have to pull each of her fingers away from the steering wheel before you push her, and she slides across the seat towards Helena, and they both sit there just staring, unseeing, and the vehicle swerves, and I need you to make a drive check.
Oh boy. Whew. If I need to, I can spend the 5 to make that a hard success.
Yeah, you would need. It's going to be a hard success. So yeah,
Okay, I'll spend the 5 luck.
perfect. Sorry, I should have told you what it was before. And you manage to get the car, and you narrowly avoid a great oak and swerve to the side, and you see that the vehicle is now heading towards what will be a small drop and then a duck pond.
I'm slamming the brakes on, double footing.
Okay, another drive roll, please, and it will be another hard.
Yeah.
As this truck does not have great brakes, and nor does it have good grip on this.
Oh boy.
Great. Lucia, Helena,
Oh, no.
you argue with the crowd. Helena translating, Lucia's Italian loosely understood by some of them, and you find yourself foisted up onto the arms and carried towards the pyre.
Oh no.
If I have, hang on, I've got my gun.
By the way, this
Yeah.
is the something bad for everyone. One contribute for you to have 2 something bads happen.
Oh yay, being burnt at the stake was exactly what I envisioned.
I have my knife out, and I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna start swinging my knife at whoever's holding me.
Yeah.
I'm not getting on a fire.
Make me the attack rolls.
Oh goodness.
So that'd be your brawl skill, I believe. I don't know if there's a fighting knife. If there is, use that. Lucia?
My what skill?
Fighting knife, maybe? Or it might be fighting brawl. I'm not sure how far it's up. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of new to the Call of Cthulhu's.
I have brawl.
Yep, that would be perfect.
Okay.
And Lucia, are you fighting back with your gun?
Oh,
No.
yeah, she is. She's got a knife. She's got a gun. She's got she's just going for it. So that's brawl again, isn't it?
Can I take a nat 20 after I've rolled? Or no?
I failed as well. Oh, hang on. I failed by 9.
Normally not, but I will say, how many nat 20s do you have?
Yeah, a rule we use on some of the other shows is if you use 2, you can use it after you've
That's
rolled.
what I was going to say. You do have 2, so you can
I have
afford to pass this. Okay.
Yeah.
But it will cost you twice because we're doing it afterwards.
Okay, so I have 30 in Brawl, and I got 39. Can I spend 9?
9 luck points.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 9.
Okay. So, Helena, you begin to fight and you think you're about to drop your knife when your other hand grabs it, and you had no idea your left hand was as good as your right, or your right hand's as good as your left. I'm not sure which handed Helena is. You slash out and you catch a wrist, and that hand lets go of you, and you continue to stab down until the people are forced to drop you, aided by the fact that Lucia's gun goes off. And for them, this is an explosion. This is a gunpowder explosion, and they were not prepared for it, and it rings around the city of Paris above the shouts. And you are let down to the ground, but the crowd isn't pleased with you, and they continue to fight.
Slashing. I'm slashing.
Lucia will run straight to Helena and grab her and keep the gun pointed at anyone, and she's just like, stand back to back, and she basically holding your arm but forces you to stand behind her, pointing the gun.
You continue to fight. We won't make rolls for the sake of this because you got free. You continue to fight and defend yourselves, but the crowd suddenly seems to lose interest as all of their heads as one turn towards the pyre, and you see the crowd. There is a small gap, and through it you see 2 women burned alive. And I need you to make sanity checks.
Oh, I'm so gonna fail this.
I don't have any more 20s.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. So
You do have an advantage.
Can
I
I use
also let me see how- I'm gonna do my luck for that. That's not too bad. It's like,
You can't
Okay.
use luck on sanity rolls.
oh no. Oh,
I got
okay.
basically the same.
Oh!
you both witnessed the absolute horror of seeing 2 people murdered by a mob in the most vicious and cruel way. You see the barrels are near your feet, and you feel almost guilt from yourselves as being part of this for not being able to stop this. And you both take only 1 point of sanity loss because I rolled really badly.
What sanity did we lose from the first one when we went through the bridge? Was that
You didn't lose any. I just wanted to see who crossed over.
Okay.
And entered the delusion, since the delusion is not a good place. And you will also take
Really, Charlie? The delusion's not a good place? Really?
of hit point loss. 1 point of health loss.
one?
Where is that? Oh, I see.
As the mob has done some damage to you in the fight. And you are forced to stand and watch as these 2 women burn before your eyes. And you hear them begging to die.
I shoot them both.
Okay, make me your shot.
Nice.
If I miss, I'm gonna make this 10 times worse. Hang on, I've got 2 nat 20s, haven't I? Left. Yeah.
You have
Can I
3.
use- Okay, then I'm using one of my nat 20s to just shoot them both in the head.
It will be okay. So I'm gonna need a shot for each.
Oh, okay.
What I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'll use 2 nat 20s just to
Okay.
put them out of their
You
misery.
point out your gun, bang, bang, and as you do, you feel water hit your face as the truck has collided into the duck pond, and the cab is instantly beginning to fill with water through the open windows.
And I'm assuming that sort of brings us.
And you are back in the
Right.
present.
And she's like, well, and I think probably Lucia freaks a little bit.
You do, and I need everyone to make sanity checks.
Oh, God.
The murky waters are filling up around you.
Oh no.
Being
Bang on the money.
being Eddie, who is in the back and is not trapped in a cab right now.
I passed.
So success.
I
Alan?
do not.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Alice, as the water
Yeah.
closes in around you, you feel like your skin is actually on fire from the shock of how cold this is. And you wonder for a moment if you were one of the women burning on the fire. And
She's
it's
just
dark,
screaming.
you're trapped, and you lose 3 points of sanity.
Okay. She's
Oh,
just screaming. She's just freaking out, basically.
And those who succeeded, you don't lose any sanity. You maintain your composure. The waters don't get to you.
So I'm gonna.
You are currently trapped in the cab of this truck as it's filling up with water. The windows are open, but you need
So-
the wherewithal to get out of them.
Can Bert and I pull the ladies out of the cab of the truck?
Yeah, make me strength checks.
Yeah, I am taking my nat 20 on that strength check, and I am pulling Helena Hawthorne from the icy vice of a watery death.
I'll also do the same thing for Lucia using my nat 20.
All right, and you pull the two women free, and they don't fight too much, with the exception of Lucia, who kicks a tiny bit. And you make it, I assume, to the shore, and watch as the truck kind of sits, slowly sinking into the duck pond. A couple of ducks quacking on the far side, confused about what has just happened in their peaceful afternoon.
And Lucia, I'm guessing, is like coughing and spluttering, like basically throwing up
Yeah,
whatever
you've
water.
got a good mouthful of that dirty.
Yeah, she's like, and she's trying to breathe again. She's
Don't struggle, Lucia. Come on, I'll get you to the bank and we'll do CPR properly.
like, and she's just like, pushing like off him, like pushing him away and just crawling up the side of the bank.
Okay, and with leaves and sticks and mud clinging to all of you, absolutely soaked,
No.
sit on the bank of this duck pond. And you raise your eyes, and Helena, you see it first. The cabin from the picture is right there in front of you across the pond. And slowly, one by one, all of you who have seen this picture will recognize this cabin.
Oh boy.
And we're actually going to end a tiny bit early tonight because a few of us are not feeling great. And we're going to leave them staring at this cabin in the woods.
So will next time still be our day off, like the other half?
We will be continuing from this day.
Wow.
So good.
I
So
love
good.
it. You did it again, Charlie.
So good. And there was me sitting there thinking, I wonder how we're going to get through all these nat 20s and nat 1s and everything. And Charlie's just like, bam, 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 bam.
I do have a special thing because I've just seen your message. Would you like me to describe? Would you like to describe the experience of crashing the van, the truck, from your perspective, as we had the two girls go in?
Oh, would I? I slam the brakes on, pulling the thing up, and realizing that the brakes just aren't engaging properly, I'll start turning the wheel. I'll turn the wheel just as we go down that dip, so the car hits side on, knocks and rolls, and we will probably hit the water upside down. Eddie, I imagine, unless he's holding on bloody hard, would be thrown from the car.
That sounds great to me. That sounds beautiful. I like it very much. Right, that is where we will leave you, having had an horrific crash and a terrible night in Paris, amongst other things today. Thank you very much to chat for all of the wild magic surges, all of the horrible things, all of the good things. I did my best to get through all of them. There is one that we are holding over till next time, but I will not forget about it because it's a very important one.
And yeah, thank you all so much for your support today. A lot of love thrown out in chat today. Tweeter of Vecna, Malhadil, I think there's Isriver in there early on, maybe?
Yeah,
Isriver, yeah, was first. Architect Origins, Tweeter of Vecna several times, and Malhadale as well. Thank you all so much for your support and all the subscriptions, all of the follows, all of the lurks. You guys are amazing out there. Now, whilst we go round and do the wrap up, I would like you guys in chat to think of a saying, a phrase that we can say when we do our raid tonight, okay? So preferably something from the session that we can go in as a raid, like, chant, you know? And we will start going around. We will start with the wonderful Charlie. Amazing job again tonight, Charlie. Thank you.
I first want to check all of my players are okay.
Yeah,
Everyone is
yeah.
no one is too scarred.
No,
Never been better.
not yet.
I love it.
Thank you so much for letting me play this game. I look forward to the story and seeing what chat is going to throw our way. I do my best to keep up with it and to incorporate it in a way that makes sense. I've been thinking about Paris since I was reading a book this week about the revolution, and I read this terrible tale of 2 women burned alive. And I thought it would be a perfect place to send Helena at some point, and the portal provided me the opportunity. Shout out to the action heroes who managed to pull the girls free, and to all of you for really wonderful RP today. You made the scenes, I barely had to do any work, and for going along for the very bumpy ride. Next week will be Cabin in the Woods, so please do come back. And if you do miss it, check out the VOD either on Twitch or on YouTube. We are working on getting playlists set up. That'll be even easier to find everything when you want to watch.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Charlie. We'll go around the screen this way. Oh, sorry.
Got my plugs. I did this last week as well. One plug. Tomorrow we will be here for Wizards and Wardrobes as usual. Some D&D 5e fun and games in the city of Waterdeep.
Yes, indeed. I'm also putting your links in chat now.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Because I completely forgot to do my introduction stuff today as well. Like, I just came in, oh, we're playing, Charlie, let's go. So we'll go this way around the screen. Same questions, guys. What was your favourite part? Where can we find you online and all the wonderful things you do? First of all, let's go to this person, this portrait masquerading as a person. Anna. Oh, hi.
Portrait. So we're talking about our favorites again.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously the whole thing was my favorite, but especially the portal through the bridge to Paris. That was so cool and terrifying. Also, anything to do with maggots, I will die for because I love that. So all the maggots in the food, it's awesome. I used to have a phobia of it when I was a kid, so I have I like maggots a lot now because I had to get over that phobia. So in turn, maggots. So also, I like the interactions with Eddie. I'm really liking where we're going with that. I like that we're all discovering these weird things happening and talking about them. And I'm very excited to see this cabin and what's going to happen. And apparently I'm the only one who can see this figure in the window. So we'll see how that goes. I loved all the wild magic surges, as always. That is my absolute favorite thing, even if they're awful. Love it all. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much, all of them. And so you can find me online, Ephemeroptera on Twitter, Ephemera on Twitch. I would like to plug one game. I've never done that before, but I started playing a really cool campaign, D&D 5e on, I think it's, Oh Baby 190, which also plays on one of your games. So we play a game called The Masks of Death, and that's Thursday nights. I believe it's what time? 7 to 8 Eastern or something like that. But it's a new game that we're in, and it's really cool. We got some really fun characters, and we got a sponsorship with Levis Arcana. So
Ooh.
if you like to watch dark D&D games, it's really fun. Thursday nights, you can find us there. That's all.
Fantastic. If you would like to shout that out in chat, you can do that. The command is shout !SO and then their Twitch handle. And I've got a little bot that does a little, hey, you should give these people a follow. Look what they were last playing.
So shout SO?
Yeah, ! I'll put it in chat. So it's just like, that's just to Charlie. I'll try and do it to everyone. Here you go. So it'd be like, shout out. And for me, it'd be like that.
That's perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next around the clock, the wonderful, broken-nosed Travis Bowles.
Oh, I don't know about that. I have a irrational, manic high school crush on this game and these characters, where you can't stop thinking about them, and you could just smother them with your wild, unleashed affection. I just cannot even stand it. It's been heartbroken that I have to do another week before we get to do this. But my favorite part was my nose breaking, and also Bert and Lucia. I'm ready for a 1,500 page Mario Puzo novel about Lucia's character and family. And I just love this. And Charlie's doing such an amazing job. And I think we're doing something really nuanced and really
special and really badass, and I feel really lucky and grateful to be a part of it. And I am going to now go do some work and cut WebDM. This week's WebDM is on random encounter tables, so you won't want to miss that on Wednesday. Also, I'm playing D&D with Lindy tomorrow night because I am a lucky SOB. And so wish me luck because I cut a show on D&D and don't really know crap about it. So I'm on my D&D learning curve. But thank you for letting me play and watching. This is amazing.
You've played D&D on this channel before. We all know you're great at it. You can stop hiding, all right? My question is, are you playing with Lindy as a player or Lindy as a DM?
Lindy is a DM.
Oh, you are in for a treat.
I played last week, and I was in Antonio Banderas, and I was very sexy and very, Mediterranean. But this week, I don't know.
Isn't it weird how Lindy just brings that out in all of us?
Lindy is a mad scientist of online Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, she's a wonder. And I'm really looking forward to Travis DMing me midway through the week with an essay on all the things that he wants to do and all the ideas.
Yes.
DMing Travis being like, I have all these ideas. I'm like, yes.
Yes, I'm going to DM the following to Charlie at 4:00 in the morning tonight. Donuts and coffee, the wind blowing through the trees, and the sky is a poisonous garden. Thank you.
The sky is a poisonous garden.
And last but most certainly not least, the headmistress of the academy, Alice. Oh, hi, Alice.
Charlie, that was awesome. I love it. I just love it, and I love all of these characters. I love all of their interactions. I love Crazy Eddie. I mean, I know he's crazy anyway, but like, I love real Crazy Eddie. I feel poor Helena and I keep getting lumbered with these really spooky things, and it just happened to be the two women that went in, and then two women got burnt. Like, I'm sensing some hostility here, but like, all in love. And I also I love that Bert. I love the interaction between Bert and Lucia, that he thinks she's a very, needs to be protected and very gentle.
She's
and
a delicate
she
flower.
Play up to it. Yeah, she'll play up to that. She can get something from that. And I also love the reaction between Helena and Eddie as well. I think we've got like quite a good mold as we all it's like we've linked as pairs and we're gradually linking together like that, because obviously Eddie knows Lucia, and Helena and Lucia have now just seen some weird shit. And I'm just really excited for next week already, and I'm slightly giddy about it because yeah. But anyway, I am White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. I am back in 2 hours DMing our D&D 5e Eberron campaign. You will see me on this channel either playing in more games or because I'm in the Curse of Strahd tomorrow. I also run our Cypher System campaign, Eden, which they're all very, very confused and keep sending me messages about conspiracy theories and everything, which I love. So I feel I'm doing something good there. But yeah, and I will let Scrap finish up with all the rest of it. So.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. And now, before I go into everything, guys in chat, we'll have a 1 in chat for Schools Out being our raid thing. Is it a response? Not really a response. Our raid entry command thing. Our war cry. Our war cry. Schools Out is on a 1, or the headmaster is here, get ready for a lesson on 2. Those are the 2 suggestions from chat. So 1s and 2s in chat.
The sky is a poisonous forest.
Yeah, that's what I was
The sky
thinking.
is a poisonous garden.
The sky is a poisonous garden on 3.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's they're your options. Sorry,
Quick, I gotta put 3 in a chat. Hold on.
Yeah.
Already there.
Scrap,
So-
what's your favorite part?
What was my favorite part? Today, my favorite part was the interactions between me and Lucia. It was new, and I didn't realize how much of a misogynist I could be. Like when I put my effort into it.
Yeah, you wait till I come downstairs.
So funny.
You cook your own dinner tonight, Scrap.
I don't know where it came from. I'm now worried. I need to go and do some deep personal soul searching. But I'm glad you all found it entertaining. It looks like 3 is a resounding victor, by the way. So if someone could type out something in the form, one with Scrat Hype and one without, I would appreciate that as I go through my own things, which is, first of all, if you haven't seen them already, here are our social links. We've got Discord, we've got Twitter, and we've got YouTube. YouTube, we are catching up. I am now all the way up to the premieres of this season on the YouTube. So I'm going to be catching up and get up to this week and the next few nights, and then I will start putting them into playlists for easier access. We're doing work on the YouTube, it's coming. Twitter, if you want to get into a game very much like this one, send me a DM on Twitter. I currently have 3 viewer games a week with up to 12 positions for players to come and have a go at D&D. And you can be one of those. We're currently coming up to the end of October. And Twitter. If you got... No, that's the one I already done. And Discord is our wonderful inclusive family feel community where you guys can come and just basically be at home. We also have a Patreon where you guys can support us as we are now full-time. We also have merchandise. There it is. And there's the Scrat Hype version that I'm copy and pasting. And lastly, we still don't have a competition because I'm a bum. But we do have a new sponsor. You might notice down in the bottom corner of the screen a Bird in the Storm Publishing logo, as Bird in the Storm Publishing is now sponsoring our stream. If you guys aren't aware of them, you should go and check them out. Here is a link to their Twitter and their Teespring site where you can go and buy t-shirts and support them. This is the company run by Tool School and Bird vs. Plane. And we premiered... Sorry? We premiered...
Wow, they're amazing streamers.
They're amazing streamers, and we premiered their show along in the Midnight Weald on the Academy on the 11th of August. I know that because I just started prepping the video for it yesterday.
And you were in it.
No, but I mean, I know the exact date because I was just sorting out the video yesterday. Yeah, so we have a new sponsor, guys. Hype for that. So please, yeah, pay them a visit, give them some hype, give them some follows on Twitter. Let's go and support them because they are supporting us.
And they're awesome people in general.
Now, what I haven't done while I was getting excited about all of this was go and look at who we're going to raid tonight. So give me a short moment. We've got our Scrat Hype raid things, and we also have a non-Scrat Hype raid thing. If you want to make it a funky color, you can just type /me first of all. And today I can see no, that's the picture. I mistook the picture for someone else. Whoops. One of you shouted Anna, you shouted out Rachel, right? OBB190?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's live. Let's go and raid her.
She's doing Life is Strange.
Yeah, so let's go and raid OBaby190. When you guys get in there, let's see the Scrat Hypes if you got them, and otherwise we want to see the sky is a poisonous garden tonight in chat. Okay, just spam the chat with it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that is counting down now. We will be gone, guys, very shortly. Remember, keep evoking emotions. We are live Monday to Thursday, 1 p.m., 6 p.m., 10 p.m., and Fridays at 1 p.m., and this week at 8 p.m. The raid is ready. Let's get in there. Fill it with hype. We'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.